Let's have November rain. Finally, right? Hold on, I gotta find something. Some exciting kind of news today. I thought I opened it, but I guess not. Push a P. Push a P. My God, I have this stupid song stuck in my head. Okay. Let's go. Let's go. What's up, Teach Mash? How you doing? I'll just wait a minute. Pull this up. Hold on, let me get myself together here. Pretty exciting stuff happening. Hold on, I'm just gonna share my screen. All right. I hope this is the right one. Oh, I did have it open. Hello. Let me make sure this is the right one. Because I have two open apparently. Let me close one. Great. I don't know which one I'm sharing. That's the problem. Oh, it's this one? All right. I'll close this one then. Okay. I got it open. Morning, everybody. Crazy day. I cannot believe all that shooting that went on in the subway yesterday in Brooklyn. So far, I haven't checked the news this morning, but this guy goes into the subway. I guess the train opens up. He threw like a smoke bomb or something in there and just started shooting. And last I heard, and I don't know because I haven't, like I said, I haven't checked up on it this morning. He hit like 13 people. But so far, I have not heard of any deaths, which is remarkable just considering the circumstances. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with people? Now, this guy actually has a YouTube channel. He's got about 3,000 followers on here. And I just can't, like, what the hell is wrong with people? I'm like terrified to go to the city. The police have been completely defunded and just they're powerless. And right now is not the time to go to the city. The guy has two homes, one in Wisconsin and one in Philly. So weird. It's just like it makes you just wonder, like those people that do these things, like what makes them wake up that day and just be like, I'm gonna go down to the subway and shoot people. Like, and what makes them pick that subway, or whatever, that school or whatever it is. It's just fucking insane. It's crazy. Morning, Nana. Hey, CK. Teach my Ash. So I don't know how many of you guys follow this case, Long Island serial killer case. I've been following it very closely. I know a couple of people. I can't watch the news for this reason. I'm the same way, Novemberine. I just hate watching the news. It's like more and more depressing stuff every time you turn it on. So it gives me an anxiety. This is pretty cool. So they revamped this page. This page has been out for a while. They created this, I think, back in 2020. This Gilgo Beach. It was called GilgoNews.com, but now we have a new police commissioner whose picture you can see right here, Rodney K. Harrison. He came from, I believe it was the city, actually, the NYPD. I'm not really sure how he ended up here. Former police employee Eric Adams just spent a massive sum of tax money to hire more cops, create new departments. Well, hopefully, because it's fucking bad right now. I have a lot of, friends, and I know a lot of people that are police officers in the city, and it's just scary. It's really scary. So anyway, this is an overview of I guess, well, I don't actually know where this is. This has to be Robert Moses. So I don't even think this is Gilgo because the ocean is right here. So this has to be the road to Robert Moses, which is weird. Why would they put this? I don't know. I don't even know what this picture is because it's not Gilgo. If it was, we'd be able to see some houses, and I know there's something down there. I don't know. I don't even know what the hell this is, to be quite honest with you. Not sure what this aerial view is right here. But anyway, they revamped this website, and part of them doing so was them releasing some video, which 12 years has gone by in this case. They have not released anything to the public. I don't really, so they released one of the victims was she checked into this hotel. Her name was Megan Waterman. She checked into this hotel and came out, went to go meet this guy, and disappeared into the night. Nobody ever saw her again until her body was found on Gilgo. So before I show you guys this, because they actually released the surveillance from the hotel that day, which, to be honest with you, I don't even know how helpful it is. But let me show you guys, before we get into that, I want to show you guys her victim profile because hers has the most info. So this guy, this Rodney K. Harrison, he came into this whole investigation, this Long Island serial killer investigation, totally was, I mean, balls to the wall. Before he was even in office, he was talking about trying to solve this thing, trying to get it, things out to the public and all this stuff. And he actually created a task force. If you guys don't know, this case is so convoluted. There's so much evidence. I mean, there's so many different like facets to this case, not just with the victims and all the different things that happen, but the suspects. I mean, it's just fucking crazy. One of the biggest, suspects, not named by the police. Let me just put that out there. Only named by, internet sleuths and all these documentaries and everything, and these reporters, is James Burke, who was our former chief of police. So he was in charge of this whole thing, okay, when it first happened, and he pulled the FBI out of it, and he did a lot of shady shit. And I think that, coupled with his past with prostitutes and other people's accounts of prostitutes, plus this whole thing that happened where he beat up this guy that robbed him. Okay, this young guy robbed his police car in front of his house one day, and then he took this duffel bag out of his car, and when he got home, he claims in this duffel bag there was snuff films, which is basically films of men R-ing women and then murdering them. So this is, it's just crazy. So this guy came in and he's like, we've had all different chiefs, commissioners, district attorneys, and nobody's done anything in 12 years, really. The last one was Geraldine, God, I can't remember her last name. She was the last police commissioner who came in. She made this webpage, released this picture of a belt, and like it just went nowhere. It's gone nowhere. I really don't understand what they're doing here. I really just don't get it. So, all right, let's look down the profile here. So now they reorganized this whole webpage. I mean, it's a little bit better, but the only problem is you can't view it. You can view it on the phone, but I find on my iPhone, when I go to click on some of the things, it thinks it's a pop-up and it blocks it. So I can't watch it, a lot of the things on my phone. So this is the one that they released the surveillance footage of. This is Megan Waterman. And she was, all right, she was, let's see, Waterman, who advertised escort services on Craigslist. It was last seen on June 4th, 2010 at a Holiday Inn Express in Hauppauge, New York, which is very, very close to where I grew up. I passed that hotel all the time. Then they have pictures of her, which this is like all new. They didn't have all this before. Now, like, look how different this girl looks. I just want to note this. Look how different she looks in every picture. It's crazy. So, I mean, obviously these are pictures over the years of her, but she just looks so, like, does that look like the same person? It doesn't even look like the same person. She just looks really different in every picture. Like that and that just looks so different. So one thing I always noticed about her specifically is that, well, a lot of these girls, but her specifically, she looks very different in different pictures. You know, her hair color changes. I believe she has contacts on in this picture, blue contacts, because her eyes are clearly brown. But she just looks very, very different in all these pictures. Like it's crazy. So she was last seen, and I think she's the only one that there's any type of video, of her being anywhere. Everybody else left from their homes, I think. For some reason, now she didn't work on Long Island from what I remember. She came out here, she got this hotel room for herself, and then she right? She looks different in every picture. It's so weird. So she has all these she came out here, she got a hotel room, and then she stayed in all these different hotel. I mean, she stayed in the hotel not even a few hours. So she checked in and then you'll see her leaving. Um Here's a I don't know why they really have this here, an aerial view of the hotel. So if you guys, I mean, obviously most people are not going to be familiar with this area, but this is the Long Island Expressway right here on this side, on the right side of the picture. And then you have the service road. So this is where you would get off. The exits looks like it's way down here. Well, no, that's not entrance ramps. So here's the hotel all the way in the back. I don't know why they did this. So when you see her leave from this hotel, and it's weird. I wonder if he told her specifically to stay at this hotel, because if you look around, look what's around this hotel. It's like an industrial area. This is all office buildings. I'm not really sure what this is. It looks like some kind of uh I don't know, they have trucks out here, like dump trucks, so who knows what that is. But this is all closed at night. None of this is open. These places probably close down around 5 o'clock, and that's it, done. And then behind the hotel at this time, I don't know when this picture was taken, but there's absolutely nothing back there. I mean, you guys could see it's just like barren land. And then you got this little hotel, and she walks out to the right when she leaves. You could kind of see her walking out to the right. So he must have been parked over in this area right here. So she must have known. I mean, the guy obviously knew he was coming here. He doesn't go inside. At least I don't think he does. But we could actually see the surveillance now of her. Now, I don't know how this is going to help the case, like releasing this, but let's just look at it. Because it's pretty crazy. Like, for me, somebody's been following this and there's been nothing released to us. It's kind of crazy to see this. So, of course, it's like horrible footage. Can you guys even see that? Look how small that is. Hold on. I'll try to make it full screen. I didn't realize that would be so tiny. How close to the Sound or ocean? Not close at all, Remy, because this whole area is kind of in the center of Long Island. The LIE basically runs through the middle of the island, so not very close. How close to Gilgo? Not close at all. I'll show you guys on a map how far they had to drive from where they are, from this hotel to Gilgo. It's really weird. The whole thing is just so weird. It's just so weird how they have not caught this person in 12 years. So I don't know. I didn't realize this was going to be so small for you guys, but this is nothing right now. Some guest. That's the lady that works at the hotel. You're going to see her come in a minute, and I'll speed it up a little bit just because. Hold on a second. Like, I don't know. I'm happy they released this just for the plain fact that, like, it gives me hope that they're going to release more and try to, incorporate. But like, there's so much more they could release that would really help out. Like, I just don't see how this specific video is helping 10 years later, 12 years later. Maybe in the first 48 hours, had they released this video, one of these people, there she is, she just entered. One of these people could have said, hey, you know what? I remember seeing that girl and I remember her getting into this kind of car. But 12 years later, these people are not going to remember, this random hotel stay. Like, I go to hotels all the time, right? I travel all the time. I go to, my son's hockey tournaments. And like, do you think I remember a person from one hotel? Let me see if I can make this any bigger. Oh, did that make it bigger for you guys? I can't see because I'm in full screen mode now. Hold on. Why is this so small? Did that make it bigger? Let me know when I just did that because I made it full screen and I just went out. Oh, happy birthday. Happy birthday, Purple Rain. Hold on. I got to give you the birthday banner. Where the hell is it? Hold on a second. So she just entered. Now she went away. Hold on a second. Let me give Purple Rain her birthday banner. Happy birthday. She's just there. And I guess she's waiting to check in. Now, here's my problem with this whole thing. They released this, there's no timestamps on it. So, like, if you're going to try to get a memory, oh, when I made it bigger, you guys saw it. All right, let me do that again then. I'm going to do that again. I'm just not going to be able to see chat because I'm in full screen. So, let me go back. Like, this many years later, okay, the people at the front desk, nobody's going to remember this interaction. So she comes in, she's wearing hold on a second. I mean, it's worth a try at this point to show people here she is. Maybe somebody will remember something. But it's just so far later. Like I said, I go to hotels all the time. It's really weird though. Look how she's looking around at the hotel. You guys will see in the next one, like this brown rug that's right here. When that's when you first walk in. So she just basically came in through the front door right there. She's obviously looking for somebody. Now notice she's wearing flip-flops and it looks like she's wearing shorts. This is like the worst quality video ever. People always wonder why. I've always wondered why security videos are like such terrible quality. It's because you have to sacrifice the quality because of the amount of space that it's taking up. If it was a higher quality video, it would take up so much space and there would be no way they'd ever be able to save them, so they have to kind of sacrifice the quality for, the space that it's going to take up. So it looks like she's, checked in. There's a guy, you can't see him in this shot, but there's a guy standing to the right over there. It's really weird though. She looks nervous to me. I don't know if it's just, she's by herself. Maybe she's on, I don't know if she was a drug user, this girl. I know a lot of them were. So I'm not sure about Megan, but she definitely is looking around. Like, you know what I'm saying? She looks very aware of her surroundings. And this is just crazy to me because I've only seen pictures of these victims for the last 10 years. I've never seen them actually move and in action. So it's kind of crazy to actually see her. Like now she's like a person to me, she's a real person. She's not, if you would look at her, you wouldn't think, oh, she's an escort. She's dressed like a totally normal person. She's just got this yellow tank top on, pants, and shorts and flip-flops. Like, these are normal people. You know what I'm saying? They're not their jobs. They're normal people who just got, went the wrong way in life to make money, but they're still people. Now this guy, did you guys see this business guy come in? It's kind of weird. He comes in, he sits down. Look, she's looking at him and she looks away. He's kind of looking at her and he's kind of just sitting there. It's just kind of weird. It's just strange because this is a girl who looks like she's very aware of her surroundings. She doesn't look like the type of girl to me who's kind of walking around with her head up her ass. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of women do. She's looking around. She seems very aware of what's going on around her. She's in an unfamiliar place, she wasn't from this area. she came out here specifically to meet this guy, and I'm gonna assume he must have promised her a lot of money, just like he did with we know at least one other victim. There was a large sum of money discussed that he was offering these girls more than what they typically made with their clients, which should have been a red flag for them. But for her to drive all the way out here, and then none of these girls except one actually lived on Long Island. Some of them lived in the Bronx. Some of them came from Jersey. She, I believe, might have been the one from upstate. I forget exactly where she was from. But these girls didn't live here, so they had to come here specifically, for this. So she came here and to, put money up to rent a hotel room for herself for the night. She must have been promised a large amount of money. So now she leaves the scene here, and then you're going to see her come back in a couple of seconds, and she's going to come back in with her luggage. It's just so sad. I mean, she literally goes and checks in. Now, again, I wish they had timestamps on here because I have no idea what time of the day this is. Is it daytime? Is it nighttime? I have no idea. They don't have any timestamps on it. And also, here she is. There she is. She's walking, and she's going left to the elevator. And then that's it. I don't know why. It's weird they released this whole look where we are in the video. We're not even halfway through it. And they released this whole thing. Now this guy gets up, that other business guy walks in, and then this business guy gets up and he walks in there. So I don't know if there was some type of meeting or something. Like, I want to know what the relevance is of them releasing the rest of this video. I'm trying to figure it out, because that's the last you see her in this video at 6 minutes, and the video is 11 minutes long. Now this guy comes walking back in, and he's going towards the front door, so I don't know if he's going out to his car or whatever. Here comes another business guy. It's very weird that they left this in. I don't know if they're trying to tell us something here. When I was originally watching it and I seen this guy with the white hair walk in, I was like, ooh, is that Thomas Spoda? He was what was his position? He's another piece of shit who's in jail, who was connected with Burke, the ex-chief. I forget what his exact job was. He might have been the police commissioner at the time when this was all going on, and Burke was the chief. That's right. So I'm like, oh, it looks like Spoda, but it's not him, I don't think. Look at these people. Now, keep in mind too, I'm assuming, since they don't have any timestamps on this, which is very weird because usually surveillance videos have timestamps on them, because that helps, police identify things. It's like, why have a surveillance video with no timestamp on it? So I'm assuming it's after 3 o'clock, because most people check in after 3 o'clock, right? So most hotels have their checkout at 3 o'clock. And then it's got to be sometime in the evening. I'm going to say like maybe 4, 5, 6, anywhere from like 6 to maybe 8 or 9 even, because you guys will see in the next video how busy this lobby is. Like, there's a lot of activity going on. So, it has to be around those times. At first, I thought maybe it was during the day, but you'll see one shot where you could actually see outside a little bit, and it looks dark out. So considering daylight savings and stuff like that, it has to be, probably around 7 o'clock or 7, 8, or 9 o'clock. I mean, most hotels I go to, the lobby activity usually dies down around like 9, 10 o'clock. People start going to bed. So I'm assuming this happened kind of early in the evening, just given the fact that there's so much activity out there right now. But it's just weird. Look how they like left this whole thing here in the video. The other thing that's weird is like there was no cameras anywhere else. There was no outdoor camera. There was no camera up in the hallways upstairs. She's obviously up in her room getting, freshened up or something, because you'll see when she comes back out with pants on, where she had shorts on. It's just crazy. So sad to know that this girl checks in this hotel. She's by herself. She doesn't have anybody there to protect her. And then she just leaves. Now, I think the boyfriend or somebody went down to the hotel. I forget how they figured out that she was missing, but I know somebody in her family, I don't know if it was a boyfriend or somebody, went down to the hotel because her stuff was still there. I guess they must have noticed the next day. I don't know how long she was supposed to stay there for, but at some point the hotel had a notice like, hey, this girl's not checking out. You know, her stuff is still in the room, and she just vanished into thin air. And I can imagine that it's probably pretty creepy over there at night, just given the area that it's in with all these office buildings that are closed down. And I don't know. All right, so this one's almost over. I don't know why I played this whole thing because I'm trying to figure out why they left all this in this whole clip here and didn't just end it where she walked up to the elevator. It's very weird. Like, are we supposed to be looking at something else? Are there people in this video that we're supposed to be looking at? So this is one video. So this is 11 minutes. And now they don't even specify the next video, how long it is after this video. So I don't know if she was up in her room for an hour, 2 hours. They don't say what time it was. It would be very helpful. It would also be very helpful if you could play this on an iPhone, since most people are going to be looking at this on an iPhone. All right, let me check you guys chat. Did this? No, yeah, Winky. This is the Long Island serial killer. So it was like a long time ago. These are old videos from 2010 that they just released. All right, so this is now another view. And like I said, see, if you look at the front door, it looks like it's daytime out. But then later on, you can see that that's just like there's two sets of doors. So that's just the light from the little area between the two doors, whatever you call it. But like, again, they show this whole video, and I don't really understand why they left all of this in there. I don't know. It's just very strange. This is a small hotel. I mean, look at the size of the lobby. The elevators are right where those people are walking right now. Right here are the elevators. This guy comes running in. Like, it's so pixelated. It's so bad. Now this freaking weirdo comes walking in. Walks up to the elevator. And then he disappears for a second. That's one of the hotel employees from the front desk. That guy was just helping her at the front desk. Here she is. There she is. That's her leaving. And that's it. She leaves. And that's it. You don't. Right now, when she just walked out, this girl's walking to her death. Like, that is kind of fucked up to just know that. When she comes out of that elevator, she ain't coming back. He hits the button. Door opens. He goes in. She comes out. She's wearing jeans. She has the same shirt on. And that's it. She's gone. She goes out, gets in the car with the killer, and that's it. So then they leave another, look at this, 2 minutes on this video. I don't know why. She doesn't come back in. There's just movement from, all these people. I mean, look, you can see all these people. I just skipped ahead. There's all people sitting in the chairs. So that's that, right? Let me close out that one. Oh shit, I closed the whole window. Oh my God. I'm such an idiot. I gotta reopen that. Hold on. It's just so weird. It's like, why did they release this? Go to Bay Shore near the water. Thank you, sweetie. Hold on, I didn't see that. Let me go back up there. Hey, Robbie, how you doing? I know this isn't the Summer Wells case. Nobody cares about any other cases, it seems, around here. It's like crazy. I remember I was terrified. I would always be in Long Island during the summer. Oh, okay. It's not a scary place, I promise. Many serial killers out there. I saw a video where it was estimated. Wait, out here? Oh, or you just mean out in the world. I was like, damn, that's a lot. Mm. There's been a few here. We had what's his name? Oh my god, I can't remember his name. There's been a few. There's been a few. No, Robbie, I'm just saying there. The Summer Wells case, like, if I put Summer Wells in the title, everybody, there'd be like a freaking million people here. But there's nothing new to report in that case, and I just don't get why I'm not a true crime channel anyway. This is just a case I've been following since it happened, because it's right here in my hometown basically. So I'm interested in it, and I don't see a lot of people talking about it, and I feel like these girls just all got completely forgotten about. So, all right, let me just get back to that. This is the third video now. Hold on. I don't even know if she's in this one. Hold on a second. It's so weird. Yeah, I am passionate about this case. I just can't imagine going 10 years and not knowing where my family member, what happened to them. Like, think about that. Think how fucked up that is. And then it's so messed up, because it was almost like the police were working against solving this case. Like, they kicked the FBI off the case, and they've been so resistant to share things with the public, which makes you really question, are they covering up for another police officer? That's the whole big thing in this case, is, was the killer a police officer? I mean, think about that. If it comes out that it was this Burke guy who was the chief of police, who should never have been the chief of police, even forget this, he should have never even made it to that position as a chief of police, because he had all this crazy shit on his record, having a sex with a prostitute in his car, in his patrol car. He was known to hang out with shady people at shady places, and then you have these sex parties that they were having. I mean, it's just total fucking insanity, right? They think it might be a group. That's what makes the case so interesting to me, is that you have this whole aspect of the police possibly being involved in the case. The killer possibly being the chief of police. Think about that. Where have you ever heard that? Ever? Chief of police, serial killer? That's crazy. All right. So, I mean, there's so many. This case, really, you could spend hours going down into this crazy rabbit hole of this case. It's fucking insane. All right, so I'm going full screen again, so I'm not gonna be able to see the chat. I don't even know if she's in this video. Let me see. Or is this the one? No, this isn't the one we watched. We watched 2 so far. And I'm trying to question why they even released this, because there's nothing in these that's really going to help the case at all. It's just that, okay, we see it, all it really does is prove that she was here and she was in this, hotel. We can't see outside. We just see that she left. She came, she checked in, she left. There's no timestamps. There's nothing informative in this at all. I don't even think she's in this specific clip. I don't know why they included it in here. That's why I watch these things. That's not her, in case anybody's wondering. Because when I was watching it on my phone before, I thought that was her. Here's the business guy. Oh shit, I didn't notice that. But he just goes and sits down. And it skips. You guys notice how it skips? Like, all of a sudden, like, somebody will be like across the room. They fucking teleported there. It's fucking weird. So fucking weird. I just, you keep seeing the same hotel employees. I think this is when she's checking in, and that's why we don't see her in this video. I think that's why they included it, because the business guy walks by, which we saw in the first video. It is. Okay, there she is going into the elevator. So that's, and then look, it just skips, and it's like, is she in the elevator? Like, what happened there? And there's the business guy again. That's interesting. But this is the same video as the first video that I showed you, just from a different angle. There's the other guy walking out. and the other guy coming in, the other business guy, which I would think the majority of the people that are staying at this hotel are in here for business. They're here for business. So, like, again, I don't know what the hell this does for us. All right, so let's go to the fourth video. I just want to know, like, how is this even helping the case? How is this helping us? Why release this even? I mean, I'm glad they did because, you know, this guy made a lot of big promises to us, the people of Long Island, the people have been following the case, but they haven't produced anything. So I feel like this is just like, here, we're going to give you this just to give you something to prove that we're going to share information. You know, we're going to start sharing information about this case. Like, that's what I feel like it is, but I could be wrong. I think maybe this was a video that I didn't even see her in. See, like, that was so weird. Watch those people. I don't know. I feel like this is so edited. Watch how those people, they walk up to the elevator. Like, they legit just go around in a circle, and then it skips and she's all the way over on the other side. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know if the camera's like broken or something, or maybe it's motion activated. I don't know. But again, like, I don't even know why they included this in here. There's just all people walking through the lobby. We don't even see her. I don't know if she's checking in. I don't know where she is in this. We don't see her. I think this was the one video where you don't see her. And I was like, why did they even include this in here? And you can't even see anybody's faces. I mean, and again, this is 12 years ago that this video is from. So the chances of these people being able to recall, like, oh yeah, I remember seeing that girl in, you know, June of 2010 with the yellow shirt and the flip-flops getting into a car. Like, who's going to remember that minute detail of their lives from 10 years ago of a stranger? It just doesn't even make sense. That's not her. So I don't know why. I really don't know why they included this in here. I have no idea. That's it. I don't know why they even included this video, but there has to be some significance to it. And then we got the last one. This is probably, in my opinion, the best one, even though it's in black and white, because you got the view of the doors now, so we can see that it's dark out. You know, it's definitely nighttime, so it has to be around after 7, I would say, at night when she's leaving. I don't know what time it was when she came in, but we now know this is a video of her leaving, so we know that it's nighttime at least. But we can't see the rest of the lobby, so we don't know what's going on. This is just the front door, but it does also give you a little, ooh, look. Oh, that was a person coming in. Here's that weird guy again. Oh, but that's the same weird guy. He walked in when she walked out. He was with people because you can see it in the other video. He's with a group of people. He's got some funky outfit on, that guy. So there's the hotel employee, and we're basically waiting for her to come out and walk out the doors for the last time. It's very eerie. There she is. That's her. She goes out and she walks to the right. And that's the last anybody's ever seen of this girl alive. It's crazy. Can you imagine being a family member and just knowing, like, watching? I've seen other videos like this online in other cases, and you just want to, like, scream, like, no, don't go out there. It's like watching a horror movie, and you're like, no, don't go there. Don't open that door. Like, we know she's going out there. See, now that lady could be an integral witness because she walked out within seconds of her. But what's the chances that 12 years later this lady's going to remember seeing her getting into a car? Like, it's too late. This would have been so fucking valuable had they released it when it happened. Now, it's totally fucking useless. Totally useless. Because nobody's going to remember. You know, whoever that lady was, she's probably the last person to see her alive. That last lady that walked out that door and kind of headed in the same direction, because it's possible she could have been walking by and seen her getting into a car. You guys don't understand how many things that happen with all these. Think about it, there's all these different girls. They all left. The one girl that left, that lived on Long Island, left, and her friend usually watched her. She lived with this guy, Dave, and he usually watched her, over her. And that last time she left and he watched her walk down the block, and the guy picked her up around the block. So she just kind of turned the corner and that was it. So this guy was very calculated and smart in picking these women up in places where he knew he wasn't going to be seen, which makes me think that he was kind of stalking these girls out prior. Like this whole thing, this whole hotel setup, he set this up. He set this up. He was familiar with this hotel. He was familiar with the area that it was in. And he's the one who suggested that he stayed there, which makes me think that, and a lot of the profilers in this case have said that they feel that this guy built up. Oh, thank you, Robbie. Thank you. That he built up a rapport with these girls, that this wasn't just the first time that he met up with them. They believe that this guy was building up a rapport with these girls and then, earn their trust. We see her. That's one of the important things. Hold on. Let me go back to that for a second before I get into this, because this is one of the important things. I know Amberlynn Costello. I know there was one other girl that left without their pocketbook. Now, if we go back to this, we'll actually see her walking out and it looks like she has her bag, which is odd. Where is her bag? Did they find it at the crime scene? Did he keep it as a trophy? Because he was somehow able to talk some of these other girls into leaving without a bag, without a phone. And then when you really sit down and think about that, why would that be? Why would that be? Well, that tells me that the person's somebody who's in a higher place in society, right? Who has something to lose by a phone being there, right? They could be recorded, they could be photographed. So they don't want the phone around. And they were able to convince the girls not to bring the phones. And so that tells me that the girls knew who this person was, whether they were a judge, a police officer, somebody in higher, you know what I'm saying? A public figure of some sort who doesn't want to be seen, because as this guy Dave, he gives a lot of good information. If you guys listen to some of the podcasts and stuff that are out there, this guy Dave, who is friends with, he was basically, I don't want to say he was a pimp because he wasn't, but he was definitely a friend of the girl Amberlynn Costello, who, kind of like her bodyguard, I guess, in a sense. He looked after her. I mean, he knew straight up that she slept with, a lot of her clients were people in higher positions, judges, public figures, police officers, lawyers, doctors, people that we wouldn't expect to be doing these types of things. They're the types of people that are doing them. So, he might have been able to convince these girls, hey, I'm a police officer. I'm the chief of police. Hint, hint, leave your pocketbook. I'll take care of everything. You can use my phone if you need it. You know what I'm saying? He definitely built trust. And as a escort or prostitute, if a cop's hiring you, you're going to believe the cop. You know what I'm saying? As fucked up as that sounds, because you're going to know that he doesn't want to get caught and he's going to protect you as well. So I'm pretty sure I want to watch this again, but I want to see. It looks like she has a bag. So the more and more I think about this case, the more and more I start feeling like it might be this guy, Burke. I know a lot of people feel like that. The only thing is like, I don't know. There's so much circumstantial evidence. Yeah, she definitely has a bag. You could see it right there. Hold on, I wish I could back this up like you can on YouTube. She definitely has her bag, which is odd because in a lot of cases, you see her bag right there. In a lot of cases, these women left without their bags and without any of their, safety, basically. I would assume if you're a prostitute, you're going to carry some, maybe a gun, maybe some type of protection with you, weapon, pepper spray, something like that in your bag, just in case. But this guy disarmed these women, most of them, and got them to walk away without their safety measures, phones and stuff like that. So I thought it was all the girls, and now I'm seeing no, she had her bag with her, which is interesting. And there she just goes into the night. And it's weird. She must have spoke to him, because if she didn't know where he was, right, and she came out of the hotel, she would have just stood in the front. You know what I'm saying? This guy made sure that he hid somewhere, because you could see her directly walking to the right. And if we look at that picture again of the hotel, and I want to look at the one that they put on the website, because um I know they've changed some things around there. So I know Gray Hughes knows how to get those like old shots of the aerial shots. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to go back and find like the old shots. I just know how to find the new ones. So it's when you need Gray Hughes. What happened? Oh, I clicked on the wrong thing. Hold on a second. So let's go on her thing again here. Oh, I was on it. Never mind. All right. So we go back to that aerial picture. You guys just saw her walking out of the right of the building. Another thing that's weird about her is look, they show the area where the remains were recovered. They don't show this on any of the other victims' pages. It's very strange. So here's the hotel again. And if we zoom into the parking lot right here, she comes out right there is that canopy. The front door is right here. She goes right to the right. So she comes right out and goes right to the right. Now, I'm going to show you guys how far away this is from Gilgo. And this is going to be a little fucking crazy for you guys here. Because let me find the hotel. It's the Holiday Inn. Holiday Inn Express in Hauppauge. I want to drive over there. Hauppauge. And we're going to look at the map. I'm going to show you guys how far this is, because it's pretty crazy. Like, it makes me wonder, did they like do whatever they did in the car? Did he bring them to his house and then bring, right? Let's just say it is Burke. I'll show you guys where Burke lives in relation to all of this, because I don't think he would, there's some parts where it doesn't make sense that it's him, right? Because why would he go from Hauppauge to where he lives to Gilgo Beach? It just doesn't make sense. So let me get this little thing. Was she murdered after the others? Maybe someone copied the murders to not. No, Nana, so all these girls went missing, right? Individually. Do the cops have killer's DNA? I don't know, Pink. They do have a belt, though. They won't say whether it's the killer's belt or if it's somebody else's belt. And there's an interesting story about that too, but I'll tell you guys that in a minute. These girls all went missing, right? Separately, obviously, over, I guess, a period of like, and I'm only referring to the 4 Gilgo girls, because there's 10 victims in total, I think. And those other people went missing at different times, different years. These 4 girls specifically, I've always kind of thought there was 2 killers. I could be wrong. But these 4 girls, their bodies were found in the same area right next to Gilgo Beach, okay? And then on the same day, well, within a few days of each other, right? Because they found one body, and then they started searching the area, and then they ended up finding the other 4 bodies. Now, these 4 girls, from what they say, and it hasn't been 100% confirmed, but they claim there's some reports that they were all found wrapped up in burlap. But that's never been 100% confirmed by the police. They seem to like evade that answer. It's very weird. But they do admit that the bodies were found in a very similar fashion. So these specific 4 girls. So you have Megan Waterman, you have Amberlynn Costello, Um, uh, holy shit. I cannot remember the other two girls' names right now. Maureen Brainerd Barnes, and then who is the fourth girl? Uh, I said Amberlyn Costello. Ugh, I can't remember the fourth name. I showed the belt on here. So when they went missing, it was all around between 2009 and then 2010, right? So within like a year of each other. Then they discovered the bodies, I believe in late 2010 in like December. So, it's not, they were all obviously killed by the same person. The belt had initials. Yeah, it did. I'll show you guys the belt in a minute. Let me show you guys this. So, and I'll tell you guys this story about the belt. Remind me, because it's interesting. And again, a lot of this is just total, hearsay. Let me go to this map. All right, and share this with you guys. Hopefully I'm not. Let me take the comment off here. Sorry, I didn't realize I had that up there. Share. Because this is interesting. We're going to look at the areas where everything is. Okay. Hopefully I'm not doxing anything myself, but whatever. All right. So let me find my map. Let me close this window out. Why do I have so many goddamn windows open? All right. So here's the map, okay? Here's Google Maps. So we got the hotels right here in Hauppauge. We got the Long Island Expressway. And we zoom out and show you guys how far this is. It's crazy. All right, now Burke's house. Let me show you guys Burke's house first. Now Burke is the police, the chief of police. Burke lives in this area up here called St. James. I have his address. I'm not going to show you guys his exact house, but so hotel here, Burke's house is here, okay, in St. James. Could it be that he drove? I mean, it isn't a very far drive from here. I would say, if he's in this area right here, it's about 10-15 minute drive from here to the Holiday Inn Express. Okay. This is the town I grew up in right here. See where this lake is? This is where I grew up, right here, closer to here. So I'm very close to this area. That's why this case is obviously so interesting to me. Okay. Burke's up here, Holiday Inn Express. Now, this is where it's weird. Gilgo Beach is all the way over here. So let me see if I could even, yeah. All right, so you got, this is the Holiday Inn. Here's Gilgo. And again, I've showed you guys this before. You have to, cross this bridge. It's a long ride. I mean, I would say it's about from Hauppauge to Gilgo. If I had to guess, I would say 20-25 minute ride maybe. It's not that long, but it is very out of the way. But if you want to hide a body and make sure that it's not going to be found, that's, you know what I'm saying? That's probably the best place to bring it, because, you guys have to remember, this is a highly, highly populated area. Long Island, the population density is high, so sure, you could, put bodies essentially anywhere, but, people are going to smell them. Like, there's a lot of people around. There's more chance of it being discovered. If you bring it to a remote place like Gilgo where nobody is, I mean, people are there only during the day, but this area where they were dropped off, it's not a place where, people normally would be walking at. And especially at that time, I think now they actually built this like walking trail over in that area, or a bicycle trail rather. But at this time, there was just no reason. So they had to travel pretty far. They would have to come all the way, this way. Like, where did they go in between this Holiday Express and Gilgo? That's what I don't get. Did they go back to Burke's house, in St. James? Why this hotel? That's another thing that makes me question, because there's a million hotels from here. I mean, you guys could see some of them. These are shitty hotels, but if you look at the pink, This is just some lodging. There's a million more hotels. I don't know why these are the only ones that they're showing. So from there's a lot of hotels closer to Gilgo. Why specifically did she come to this hotel? It's fucking weird. At this time, you see this? This is Jake's 58 Casino. This is actually the first casino we have here on Long Island. It just opened a few years ago. So you can't even say, oh, they came for the casino. Or, you know what I'm saying? Why that hotel? Why? It just, I can't make sense why you would, how she ended up in this hotel in Hop Hog. It makes me wonder if, um, they had some connection to Hop Hog. Here's the other weird thing. The 4th precinct police station, which I'm not sure if Burke worked there. I know he worked at the 1st precinct. I'm not sure about the 4th, but the 4th precinct police station is right by this hotel right here. So just something interesting to note. I'm not sure if he worked there. He was the chief. Hey, Hummingbird, welcome back. I don't know if he was like the chief of police. I don't know where he was stationed out of, but just something interesting to note. If we're going with this whole police thing, it's just interesting. So, all right, I'll show you guys the belt that everybody was just talking about. Like, I'm glad they're releasing stuff, though. This gives me hope that we still have Shanann. I said Shanann, like Chris Watts' case, Shanann. We still have Shannon Gilbert's 911 tape that hasn't been released. And it's very odd that they list her as a victim here, because if you go back to the early days of the investigation, when they found her body, it was like the police were trying to basically Richard Dormer, he was another one. I don't remember all their positions. There's so many different positions. Richard Dormer also was heavily involved in this investigation. I forget. I don't know if he was a police commissioner at the time. I forget. But he was heavily involved in this investigation. And he's probably one of the only ones that's actually like spoken out and been vocal about this case. But very early on in the case, he has said that he believed that Shannon was her death was accidental. And it's just weird because she's included on this Gilgo news site as a victim. So I don't know. It's just this case is so confusing. It really is. All right, so let's go back to this for a second. Let me stop this one. It's so confusing. It really is. Like, there's just so many different things, so many different opinions. You get so many different stories from people that were involved with the case, that worked on the case. It's like nobody could give you a clear answer about this case. And it's really frustrating. But I guess a lot of cases are like that, right? All right, so let's go back to this real quick. And we got the evidence. Let's go to evidence. So if anybody's interested, I'll put this in the chat. It's called gilgonews.com. Pretty easy to remember. And hold on, once I'm done with this, I'll put it in the chat. And, you can check this out. There's not, to be quite honest with you, there's way better places to get information from about the case that goes into a lot more detail than this. But if you just want to know the basics of the case, this is a good starting point. I mean, so this was a belt that was released back in 2020 sometime, I think. And it's at first they only released this and told us it was a belt. They just released this picture and then flipped it the other way and told us it was a belt. So we had no idea what part of the belt it was, what the belt looked like, nothing, how big this was. Like, again, they give this information, but they just don't give any detail about it. So it was really confusing. It was like, was that painted on? Is that white out? Like, what's going on here? So that was it. It was HM or WH. Now, I just heard an interesting, I follow this guy on SoundCloud. His name is Frank McCain. Frank McCain, I believe that's his name. He does like a local radio show here on Long Island. And he interviewed, and it's very interesting, he interviewed a lot of people involved with this case. And one of the people that he interviewed about, this case was this guy whose name is Guy, actually. And uh he's a what does he do for a living, the guy? Some of the mortgages, I think. I forget exactly. Don't mark my words on that. Regardless, they claim that James Burke, okay, the ex-police chief that was in jail and did all this shady shit, who was suspected of being the serial killer by people, not by the police. But he was saying that he used to hang out at this house and that he was having an affair with this guy named Guy, his wife, okay, his ex-wife. So James Burke was sleeping with this guy's wife, or his ex-wife rather. I think she's deceased now. But anyway, his new girlfriend, I guess, claims that this belt was hers. Her name was Heather Marone. Heather Marone. So it would make sense, the HM, right? That this belt was one of her belts that was bought from this fur store. This, the store that sold fur coats and leather goods in St. James, which is right by Burke's house. And that they used to, put initials on the belts like this. And that this is her belt. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But it's interesting, to say the least, because he was having an affair with this woman. She was, he was known to hang out at crack houses. I mean, it's just fucking crazy. But, that would explain HM. And it kind of does look like something a woman would have on a belt, but why would you need your initials on your belt? That's the only thing that makes me wonder. Like, most people that put their initials or write their names on their belts or something is because like they're in construction and they have like a box that they leave their tools in at the end of the day, and then they come back, so they don't want it to get mixed up with other people's stuff. But then when you look at this belt, it doesn't look like a woman's belt to me personally, but I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. Oh, hold on. I went on the wrong thing. We could actually see, they don't show us the whole belt because God forbid. Well, I can't even say if it looks like a woman's belt. I mean, that's all we got is this little end. I just don't picture a woman. Well, it could be because it got weathered in the, what do you call it? Elements, because allegedly this belt was found at the crime scene, I guess at Gilgo, right? So near the bodies. I don't know if it was found, on one of the bodies, but the fact that they released it makes me feel like it was probably the killer's belt and possibly even the murder weapon. Maybe it was used to strangle these girls, because I do believe that they think that in most cases these girls were strangled to death. So, I mean, it does look weathered, but it also looks like a police utility belt to me. Police wear black belts. And maybe that's why they're not showing the rest of the belt. I don't know. It's very weird, though. Very secretive about the rest of the belt. So that's that. That's the tip. And then here's the inside. It's brown on the inside. I don't know what all these fibers are. I don't know. It's very weird. I guess it's just zoomed in and it's weird. All those white fibers that are in there. I've never really seen leather that looks like that. So maybe it's not real leather. I don't know. It looks almost like cork or something. It's really weird. It's just fucking strange. The whole thing is strange. They won't say exactly where this belt came from. They won't say whether it was, I'm assuming that it was, but doesn't that look like something a woman, like a man? I don't picture a man writing his initials like that. You know what I'm saying? That those letters look very feminine to me, like a woman wrote them. So I don't know. Maybe there is some validity to this Heather Marone, thing. I don't know. It's possible. Initials on clothing, pocketbook belts were popular in the 80s. Yeah, but like to wear them though, like to see them. This is on the inside of the belt where nobody's gonna see it. You know what I'm saying? It's not like like Laverne and Shirley where she wore the L on her sweater. This is like just handwritten on the inside. It looks like in like a white paint marker or something. Um, I mean, they don't really tell you whether it's like embossed or what. It doesn't look embossed, or, maybe it wasn't even white. Maybe it was embossed and they just colored it in. Like, they don't give many details about this, but it's on the inside of the belt, the part that you're not going to see. That's what's so weird to me about it. Mm. Maybe it stands for fucking hitman. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you flip it the other way, it could be WH. Like, this serial killer, it's just so crazy. It's like everywhere you go, right? He called, for instance, every which way you go, everything's like so loose. Like, I can't explain it. Like, you know what I'm saying? You could question it. It could go either way. Because you can flip this around. Like, why couldn't it be like a C and a D, where it's like, okay, we know it's a C and a D? No, it has to be two letters that could be flipped around the other way. Like, so it could be a WH or an HM. And it's like, this guy is smart, I mean, he called one of the victim's sisters. See, now that's what I feel like needs to be released. If they have a recording, I've again heard conflicting reports, so I don't know what's true and what's not true. But one of the victims, I believe it was Maureen Brainerd Barnes, her sister was called by the killer after her sister went missing. And he was saying really disgusting, vulgar, racist shit to her, calling her a half breed, because I believe she's like, maybe Puerto Rican and white or something like that, whatever she is, saying really fucked up things. And he explained in explicit detail what he did to her sister sexually. He described her, and then, talked about what he did to her. So I would assume that after the first phone call, they contacted the police. I don't know if they were recorded. I've heard conflicting reports about that, but it would be very helpful if they were recorded to release a clip of this guy's voice. That would be more helpful to for the public, just like they did with the Delphi case. That little clip, I know it's not helping much because it's still unsolved, but somewhere along the lines, somebody's going to recognize that guy, his voice. It's another really just fucking sad case. Mm. That shit is haunting. Haunting. Hearing that guy, girls down there, whatever he says. Ugh, so creepy. So yeah, people just they just haven't really released anything that's, anything that's really super helpful to this case. It's sad. Very sad. So that's pretty much it. I mean, I just wanted to show you guys, since I've always, covered any updates that they have or anything that they've ever shared about this case, I've always brought it on here, shared it with you guys, because I don't see anybody else covering this case, because, there's Summerwell's case and all these other cases that get people thousands of views in their, chat. It's sad. This is a cold case, basically, that's forgotten about. And there's 10 people, 10 families with no answers out there. 10 families, not just one, 10. 10 families with no answers, And I just like this case just hasn't gotten the buzz and the coverage that it actually deserves. Why? If it was a bunch of rich girls, right, with blonde hair and blue eyes, this shit would have been all over the news, worldwide. But, like the Natalie Holloway case or the Gabby Petito case, but because it's a group of, women that society looks down on, it just doesn't get the coverage that it deserves and the attention that it deserves. Sarah, yeah, they tried to ping the calls in Penn Station. Well, what happened was they were pinging the calls. I forgot to get into that. Thank you for reminding me. So the caller was very smart because he always kept the calls under a minute so that they couldn't be traced. So he obviously has some, knowledge of that, because I wouldn't know that. I don't think the average person would know that there's a time limit on, you know what I'm saying? calls being traced. Now I know, but prior to then I didn't know that. I didn't know that there was a time limit that, if you talk under a minute, obviously he was using a burner phone too, I'm sure. But one of the calls was traced back to what was it? It pinged off of a tower in Times Square. So they checked supposedly they checked surveillance cameras, in Times Square, and nothing. I mean, look at Times Square at any given time, especially back then, in the middle of the day, there's thousands of people there. How are you going to pinpoint one guy standing on a cell phone? I mean, he could have been in a car. You know what I'm saying? He could have been in a building. It doesn't necessarily mean he was standing out on the street. So that didn't help. Another call pinged back to a town called Massapequa, which is interesting. Another interesting thing that I actually researched on my own. Burke was connected with this prostitute. I forget her name. And this was actually investigated by the internal affairs. Okay. Before he was elected to chief of police, they knew about this, that he had sex in the car with this prostitute in his patrol car with his weapon there, which clearly they're not allowed to do. And he admitted to it. I mean, internal affairs have investigated it. I don't know if she's the one who went in there and ratted him out. I forget. Well, that woman, he was dating this prostitute. He was dating her. It was his girlfriend. I believe she lived with him. At that time, she also lived in Massapequa, which I found out by doing a little research on her. So she lives in Massapequa, and one of those phone calls pinged in Massapequa. So I just find that interesting. I don't know if he was still friendly with her at that time, but it is interesting, to say the least. Mm. Kathy, you lived in Suffolk County when this happened. That's interesting. 10 years ago. Newsday did, yeah, a lousy job. I have to give props to there was two podcasts I listened to. ID Discovery did one, and it was these two people that grew up on Long Island from Smithtown. They did one, and it was great. It was called the hell was the name of it now? Holy shit, my brain is not working today. Um, Unraveled. All right, you guys probably didn't hear me because for some reason, this is the weirdest thing. When I open my phone, it fucking mutes me on here. I forgot. I can't open my phone while I'm on StreamYard because it mutes me for some reason. So I'm sorry. It's called Breaking It Down with Frank McKay. That's the name of the podcast. The one radio show. It has a lot of really good interviews with people from the case. And then you have the Unraveled podcast and the LISK podcast. So those are three really good investigative pieces on this case. The guy Frank McKay, he was a former, I think, politician or something, but I like him because he fucking slams all the politicians and the corruption and really calls them to task. So I like listening to him. Uh, but it's really interesting if you want to get a more in-depth, view of the case. They're really just interesting to listen to, even if you're not from here and you're not like connected and you don't know the police department and all the stories. It's just really interesting to hear all this shit and how deep it goes. It's a little confusing even to me who grew up here, but it's interesting to say the least. They really go into the whole aspect of these crazy sex parties that these politicians and police officers were involved in, and it's fucking crazy. It's really crazy. Mm. Well, Sarah, if you look at the whole timeline, which I'll show you, um, it depends on what you believe, In all, I personally feel like there was more than one murderer. Some people might think that's crazy. I just feel that because I don't know. I feel like some of them, unless they change it, right? There was some bodies that were found that were chopped up and spread across different places, right? And those were found in like the early 2000s and the late 90s or even the mid 90s. Then you go another, whatever decade, there's nobody goes missing. Then these four girls go missing and they change their, which is possible, the killer could have changed their whole MO. Now they're not chopping the bodies up. I don't know. It's very hard to say, but it spans over a decade. If you look at all the victims that were found in this area, it spans over a decade. Here's this fucking thing. I'm sorry. It's so annoying. Now that I opened my phone, it's going to keep muting me. I fucking hate this thing. Ugh. All right. So it spans over a decade. If you look at all the victims, here's the basic timeline that they just added here. I haven't seen this yet. This is actually my first time seeing this. So April 20th, 1996. I don't know why it says human remains. Human remains were located in Davis Park on Fire Island. DNA later linked these remains to another set of remains located on April 11th, 2011 along Ocean Parkway in Nassau County. These remains, known as Jane Doe, have not been identified. Okay, so that's right. There was a mother and a toddler, okay, who were found in separate places. Well, some of their body parts, right? Back in, the 90s, I think they still haven't identified that person yet. Then you have this girl, Valerie Mack. She disappeared November 19th, 2000. And you have Jessica Taylor. She disappeared 2003. Now, her body was found, part of her body or her torso or something was found in a town called Manorville, and another part of her body was found in Gilgo, or I believe closer to Jones Beach. Okay. Then you have July 7th through September 10th. It just says multiple victims. I don't know who they're referring to there. Shanna Gilbert disappears. So now these are the girls that I was talking about, because I feel like they are definitely linked together. So you have Shanna Gilbert disappears May 1st. This is a horrible, actually, fucking time thing, because it leaves out all the other victims that went missing. Shanna Gilbert disappears May 1st, 2010. The whole reason they were looking, okay, and they discovered the other bodies is because she went missing. She went missing from a house on Oak Beach. She was another escort invited out here to this guy, Joseph Brewer's house. He had a house on Oak Beach, which is, maybe 5 miles down the road from Gilgo Beach. Something happens at the house. They have some type of altercation. She leaves. She calls 911. She's running around crazy. She had a history of bipolar disorder. Excuse me. So she would go into these, kind of psychotic manic episodes. So they don't know if she was just having one of those or whatever. But she goes around, she knocks on the neighbors' doors, right? And then all of a sudden she just vanishes. Her driver looks for her. Sorry. Ugh, I wish I never opened my phone. It's going to keep muting me. So, she disappears into thin air. They can't find her, right? It takes them months to start looking for her body. This is May 2010. Finally, in December 2010, they start looking for her. It's crazy how long it took them to start actually looking for her body. Um, so, in a lot of cases, unfortunately, and that's why these girls are picked as victims, is because people won't realize that they're missing, a lot of cases. For instance, how does a 2-year-old, there was a toddler found with the mother, right? How does a 2-year-old go missing and nobody knows about it? A 2-year-old. Like, you're telling me there was no grandparents, or you know what I'm saying? That this 2-year-old girl went missing and nobody noticed? I mean, that's crazy. But anyway, there's also a man, there was an Asian man dressed in women's clothing that was found. They don't really get into too much detail, but we'll look at further into this. So, all right, so Shannon disappears. In December, they start looking for her body. And there's this guy out there, he's on this exercise with the dog. I don't even know if they were actually looking for her, whatever. He's out there, he's with this, a dog, and the dog finds remains. They go have their remains tested. They pretty much knew that they weren't Shannon's, but they had to actually, verify, because Shannon had a metal plate in her jaw. Her fucking boyfriend broke her jaw. So they knew they found remains, but they were pretty sure that they weren't hers when they found them because of that. They bring the remains in, they get them tested. And in the meantime, from December to December 13th, they start searching the area and they find 3 more victims, right? So then that makes them do a whole nother search. They're still searching for Shannon, for her body. Okay. That's what sparked this whole investigation. And then now they find, they expand the search area and they go further west into Nassau County. The first 4 victims were found in Suffolk County. They expand the search into Nassau County, and that's where they find Jessica Taylor, and they found the Asian guy, and then they found the toddler and the mother. So those were all the victims that were found on Ocean Parkway, okay, along the Ocean Parkway. So some of them were found in Nassau, and those people, the ones found in Nassau, were missing back in like the 90s. And that, or well, at least some of them, we don't know. I hate this computer. So, all right. And so then they had a search. They found all those bodies. Who knows? There could be more out there. And then they finally, it's crazy because Shannon's body, right? They expanded the search west. Shannon's body was actually found on the opposite side of the road, east of where the first 4 bodies were found. She was found in this marsh that was basically right outside of the area where she was, you know, where she had come to, the John's house, so to speak. And if you guys are interested, that radio show that I told you about, Frank McKay, there's an interview, and it's one of the only ones with the guy, the John, whose house she went to that night. I've never heard him speak before, so that was really interesting to listen to that interview. But again, it's conflicting. So here's the map of all the bodies and where they were found. This is weird. Are we looking at the? Hold on a second. I'm a little confused here. Huh. This doesn't look right. I'm looking at this and it's like these bodies should be this way, unless the map is flipped the other way, then I'm used to seeing it. Well, here's the first 4 girls that they found. Okay. And then you have the Asian guy, you have Jessica Taylor, and that's actually a totally different picture of her. I've never seen her this picture before. So that's interesting. they usually show her, what do you call it? Her mugshot, which she looks horrible in. And then you have this girl, Valerie Mack, and then you have the unidentified female toddler. So, and I believe so her remains, and I believe the toddler's mother, their remains were found in other areas, right? Can the initials? Yeah, they can be an MW. It could be an MW. It could be a WH, an MW. I think so. Yeah. So that's that. What's this next picture? Oh, okay. Valerie Mac toddler. It's the same picture, just without the pictures. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here, but what happened? Here's the whole story. So if you want to get a little more hold on a second. Let me see. On the evening of May 1st, 2010, 23-year-old Shannon Gilbert disappeared, reportedly running through the gated community. Sorry, I have to keep unmuting myself. Gated community of Oak Beach. After leaving the home of a client, Gilbert was driven to Oak Beach by a driver who later received a call from the client to take Gilbert home after she reportedly became irrational and erratic. Although multiple searches were conducted in the vicinity of where Gilbert was last seen, her body was not discovered until 18 months after she was first reported missing. On December 11th, 8 months after the search for Gilbert began, a Suffolk County Police Department K-9 unit continued the search. Oh my God, this is written terrible. Continued the search for Gilbert near her last known whereabouts. Instead of Gilbert, however, they uncovered human remains, Jane Doe number 1, that were later identified as 24-year-old Melissa Bartholomew. That's the name I couldn't remember. And I believe that's the one whose sister was called. I think I said the wrong name before. 2 days after the discovery of Bartholomew, 3 additional victims, initially designated as Jane Doe's number 2, 3, and 4, were located along Ocean Parkway. The remains were later identified as Maureen Brainerd Barnes, Amberlyn Costello, and Megan Waterman. All 4 women worked as Craigslist escorts and were last seen between 2007 and September 2010. Oh wow, so it was 2007 till 2010. I thought it was 2009. I didn't realize it was that long. So he was like basically killing one girl a year essentially. That's interesting. Well, no, I believe there was 2 in 1 year or year and a half. Mm. Hmm. Let's see. The investigation into Shannon Gilbert's disappearance continued. Several months later, the remains of another woman who worked as an escort were discovered several miles east of where. See, I thought it was west. I'm so fucking confused. Where the Gilgo Beach 4 were found. This set of partial skeleton remains unearthed on March 29th, 2011 was known as Jane Doe number 5. Dude, I was always under the impression that they were west, closer to Jones Beach. I'm so confused. The discovery of these remains led to the first connection between the Gilgo homicides and Manorville. The investigation matched the remains of Jane Doe number 5 to identified partial remains of Jessica Taylor, previously discovered in Manorville on July 26, 2003. So all the way back in 2003, they discovered part of her remains in a town all the way out east, right? Way far. This fucking thing. So they discovered her remains, half of it in Manorville and half in Gilgo. And I believe I've showed you guys this before, but if you want to see again the distance, like this person was driving around with body parts, chopped up body parts in their car for a pretty good distance. I would say to drive from Manorville to Gilgo is a good 40-minute drive, depending on traffic. So they were spreading her body parts out. So part of her was found in 2003 and the other part was found in 2011. It's crazy. Absolutely insane. Okay. So, um, the discovery of these remains led to the first connection. Oh, I read that part. Okay. Discoveries in Nassau County. I knew there was somebody found in Nassau County. Following the connection between Gilgo Beach and Manorville through the discovery of Jessica Taylor's remains, the investigation into Shannon Gilbert's disappearance expanded yet again. On April 4th, 2011, three more sets of remains were found on Ocean Parkway in Suffolk County. One set was that of a female toddler, another was a yet to be identified Asian male. The third was initially referred to as Jane Doe number 6. A week later, the investigation uncovered two additional sets of remains along the Ocean Parkway in Nassau County. One set, through DNA analysis, was confirmed to be the mother of the female toddler. So they were found. That's so weird. So the toddler and the mother were found separated, right? The mom was found in Nassau County, and the and the toddler was found in Suffolk County. That's so fucking weird. So basically, what they did, because their division line is right along the Ocean Parkway, they just drove down the Ocean Parkway, threw the toddler out, and then drove a couple more miles into Nassau and threw the fucking mother out. Fucking crazy. And I believe that this person came from east to west, because there's only two ways to get onto this island that they're on, that the bodies were found on, right? So one of them's, out in Suffolk, and the other one's out in Nassau. There's only two bridges that go to this island. It's crazy. Okay. A week later, I said that part. Okay, the mother's partial remains were first discovered in Hempstead Lake Park in 1997, and she has become known as Peaches due to a bitten heart-shaped tattoo of a peach on her body. A bitten heart-shaped tattoo? I think they wrote that wrong. There's a tattoo. There's pictures of her tattoo out there. It was a peach. I've seen it before. And I believe she was, if I remember, sorry. So, which doesn't fit the profile, right? And neither does the Asian guy. It seems like if you go by the four that were originally found, they're all white women, and then you have this random Asian man, right? Cross dresser. Oh, well, that's what they said. In found, and then this woman. Now, I feel personally like the mom, the toddler, I personally feel like that's a whole separate person who did that. I mean, I don't find it all that strange that people would dump bodies in this area, many people, because it's a remote area where there isn't a lot of people. It's just like a bunch of people have dumped bodies in the Hudson River, it's kind of that same concept, it's just, where else are you going to put a body in places like that? So, where it's not going to be found. What about John Bitteroff was active too during that time? He was active in the early 90s, and crazy, a couple of years ago, I heard they were trying to tie him to at least the Jessica Taylor thing. They call him the Manorville Butcher. So I don't know. He's another killer who was, killed two escorts, but they do not believe that he's linked to the other women that went missing. But I did hear years ago that they were trying to connect him to Jessica Taylor and possibly Valerie Mack. I don't know. That's why this case is so crazy. There's just so many different things. Anyway, all right. The other set discovered in Nassau County was genetically matched with the remains discovered in 1996 in Davis Park on Fire Island, significantly expanding the timeline and geographic reach of the Gilgo Beach homicide investigation. Let me just say something about that. Davis Park, okay, where these remains were found, I remember this too. I remember when that was reported on the news. I was in, middle school, because listen, Long Island's a relatively quiet place. You know what I'm saying? We have crimes here and shit, but you don't really hear about these like crazy murder cases. I know we've had like the, Amy Fisher case and stuff like that, but you don't hear of like things like bodies being chopped up and found, especially in these areas. Davis Park is an area where you kind of like have to have money to hang out there. You know what I'm saying? Um, it's not a, I mean, it is a public beach, but the only way you, sorry, this fucking thing's so annoying. The only way you could get to Davis Park is by boat, right? So either this killer, think about this, brought these like partial remains on the ferry with him because there's a public ferry that could bring you to Davis Park, or you could drive your own boat over there. So, either the person brought the remains on the ferry and drove, on the ferry with somebody's fucking legs and arms in a suitcase or something and then just dumped them in the garbage pail, or they drove their own boat there with the remains, partial remains. Ugh, so gross. I just saw this video actually. Somebody sent it to me. They they got this serial killer in Brooklyn. This guy murdered. He was a trans. Well, I should say she. She was a trans woman and old. I'm talking like in their 70s, I think. They were in jail for killing somebody, somehow got let out. Yeah, that's New York right now. They let out all the criminals and killed another woman. They were living in this like old, I guess it's kind of old age home, right? Killed a woman from the home. And this is fucking gross. And there's video of it online. They had the legs wrapped up in like plastic, and the killer was in like one of those like motorized scooter wheelchair kind of things, and he was sitting on the legs, okay, in the dollar store. He had the legs in the fucking dollar store while he was shopping. Crazy. Well, I should say. Ugh, so gross. Are those time zone clocks at reception? I see. What? What time? Wait, what are you talking about? Time clock? I'm confused. I don't know where she's seeing time clocks, time zone clocks. I'm confused. Yeah, it's fucking gross, dude. Driving around with human legs in the dollar store in Brooklyn, or wherever the hell they were, whatever part of the city it was. So, I mean, could somebody possibly, go on the ferry with body parts? Sure, why not? I guess so, right? In a suitcase. It's fucking sick to think, though. Sick to think. So yeah, the body parts on Davis Park is very confusing because again, they had to transport them there, or via ferry or boat. Just think about that. It's pretty fun. Oh my god, I hate this thing. Um, all right, so where are we? All right. Turn the investigation, Jane Doe 6 is identified. Originally known as Manorville Jane Doe number 6, found April 4th, 2011, was confirmed by the Suffolk County Police's department's homicide unit to match the remains discovered in Manorville on November 19th, 2000. This is like so confusing because there's so many different remains all over. Recreational hunters came across these remains, a white female with brown hair located off Hazley Manor Road in a wooded area. The investigation determined that these remains had been in this location since the end of 2000. Most significantly, in May 2020, Jane Doe number 6 was identified as Valerie Mack. Mack's remains were identified with the assistance of the FBI using advanced forensic DNA technology. Valerie Mack, who disappeared at the age of 24 while living in Philadelphia, worked as an escort, but is confirmed to have worked in Philadelphia and not New York. So it's like, how did she end up here? Mack also used the alias of Melissa Taylor. No relationship with Jessica Taylor. Holy shit, I didn't know that, and that's so confusing. Mack's family members provided additional DNA samples and confirmed they last saw Mack in the spring and summer of 2000 in Port Republic in New Jersey. While she was not reported missing, this information aligned with the previous determination that Mack's remains were dumped in Manorville in 2000. That's like so fucking weird. How did she end up? Oh, above the reception desk? I don't know, Deborah. Maybe. If they are, they're very hard to see because the video is so grainy. Yeah, I don't even know if you'd be able to see what time it is. All right, so that's crazy. So she was somehow brought here from out of state. Very interesting. In early December 2011, Suffolk County Police found Shannon, I keep saying Shannon because the fucking Chris Watts case. Shannon Gilbert's purse and mobile phone in Oak Beach, Marshland. 2 days later, a quarter mile east of her belongings, Gilbert's remains were located. In 2020, Suffolk County Police Commissioner Geraldine Hart, that's her name, released previously undisclosed evidence to the public in an effort to advance the investigation. Police released photos of a belt believed to be handled by the suspect, not belonging to any of the victims. Okay, so they do believe that that belt belongs to the suspect. God, this thing. In 2020, current Suffolk County Police Commissioner Rodney K. Harrison established a multi-agency task force that includes representatives from the FBI, New York State Police, Suffolk County District Attorney's Office, and the Suffolk County Sheriff's Office to reinvigorate the investigation and bring the person or persons responsible for these crimes to justice. So that's like the it's a timeline, but it's a really short timeline. There's so much more to this story. It's not even funny. It's so crazy. Ay, ay, ay. So, very interesting story. Let's see what else, is released in the coming days, weeks, months, whatever. I just closed that whole thing, so I just figured I'd share it since nobody else here covers this case. I mean, I know Gray Hughes has done some coverage on it way back when, but it's definitely been forgotten about by many. Digging dirt out of, oh man, you got to just put them in like a bucket of water or get her doggy socks. It's a very interesting case, though, to say the least. I really hope it's not someone in law enforcement, but you never know. I, you know, I feel like if you look into all the cover up that's been done in this case and the fact that like the police have almost like purposely tried to not solve the case, it looks that way. It really does. It looks bad. But I mean, who knows? Who knows who it was? It could be some random, stranger. Who knows? But it's compelling to say the least. The whole law enforcement aspect is definitely makes the case interesting. I mean, it is weird. You do have to question why Burke, the police chief, would have not wanted the FBI's assistance on this case. Why would you kick the FBI off the case back when it was fresh? Why? Like, there's no answer for that. There's absolutely no answer for that. Nobody knows why he did it. And so it leads people to suspect him given his past with prostitutes and all this other shit, shady shit that he's had going on, the corruption, all of it. It leads people to start questioning, well, was there some type of cover up in the police department? Sorry, it muted me again. So Steve Ballone, he's a politician. I don't know if he's like a legislator or I'm sorry, Suffolk County is executive, whatever it is. He is the one who appointed Burke. He now says that Burke's a sociopath. So it's like, dude, you hired him. You hired a sociopath? Okay. Mm. So, it's very strange. Very, very strange. A lot of things that happen. Nobody could give answers. And it seems that a lot of people were very afraid of Burke, because it wasn't just Burke. He had all these people. Here's a crazy part of this story, right? Thomas Spoda, who was the district attorney at one point in time, I believe, back in the day, in this town called Smithtown, okay, there was a case where this little boy was found. It's so sad. I think it was back in like the 70s. This little boy was found murdered, okay, in this park with rocks shoved down his throat. So sad. James Burke, who at that time was, a kid, a teenager, was called to testify in that case by Spoda, who was the district attorney at the time, right? Years later, when Burke got into the police department, him and Spoda were like buddy buddy because he was one of the key witnesses in that case. So he later gets into the police department. Spoda is now, I don't know if he's like the main district attorney or where he is in the district attorney's office, but they're buddy buddy. So everybody that's surrounded by Burke is people that they hand selected to be surrounded by them. You know what I'm saying? It was this whole ring of corruption. Spoda's now going to jail. I'm not really sure why. Something with the cover up of Burke. I believe, Burke was in federal prison for beating up a witness. And then he's out now, and now is going to jail. The worst last name, Spoda. What a weird name, right? To me, it looks like it says Spada, but people call him Spoda. Started digging articles and finding articles that I am finding seem like there are more victims. I found one that reports to John Doe. Well, Shauna, I think what happened is a lot of people, right, from Long Island started to like dig into like other remains that were found in other places. And the case has gotten so oversaturated, right? Like they're trying to put like every murder case that's happened in the last like 2 decades on this case. And that's, to me, it's not, I don't think it is. Is it possible there's more victims out there in other places? Yeah, sure. But, there's been a lot of cases that have kind of been like intermeshed with this case that I personally don't even feel have anything to do with it. I mean, I'm sure there's more than, one murderer on Long Island. I mean, Long Island, you guys have to remember, Long Island also includes the city, part of the city, Brooklyn and Queens. So there's a lot of people here. So, the chances that we have some crazy people here are high, you know? Did you try to read the reception desktop? No, Deborah, I didn't, because the video is so grainy. It's really hard to see. It's really hard to see the clocks. I didn't even notice clocks, to be quite honest with you. I didn't even notice them. Good eye. It's very hard to see. When I open it up on my computer, it's small. And when I make it full screen, it's so pixelated that you just can't see any detail at all. Yeah, soldier. There's a lot of crazy history, a lot of corruption dating back to, the 80s even. It's insane. Totally, totally fucking crazy. So that's it. In other news, how's everybody else doing? And what else is going on? YouTube's been crazy. I heard Natasha Cooper lost their channel, which I'm so against. I don't follow Natasha Cooper. I don't care about Natasha Cooper, but I'm just so against the fucking cancel culture. Let's cancel people. That shit's not cool. Not cool. It's like, so she lost not just one channel. I mean, I have to assume that when this happens, it's because people are mass reporting. And it's like, how do you, I don't know. I just don't get it. If you don't like somebody, you know, don't watch them. But like, why do you have to sit there reporting their fucking channel and trying to get their channel taken away? Like, I'm not into that shit. As much as I feel like there's people here, you know, I don't know. I guess because I feel like there's like way more dangerous people here, right? That really deserve to have their channels taken away. Like these people are like, oh, Natasha's a scammer. You know, I hear that all the time, but th- don't give her money then. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't give her money. Why does she need to lose her channel? I don't know. I don't know. She loses her, the other douchebag keeps theirs. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All these other assholes get to keep their fucking channels. You know what I'm saying? Why aren't those channels getting taken down? People that are really coming here to hurt other people. It's it's just crazy to me. It's absolutely crazy. She has a right to be here. If you think she's a scammer, don't give her money. I mean, it's really that simple. But I guess she had enough people that hated her that sat there and reported her channel enough times to get her channel taken away. And it's just bullshit. Lots of people come to YouTube to seek revenge for every crappy thing that happened in their lives. Yeah, I, you're right about that. People like Tiffany, who is striking. This shit just blows my mind, right? She sits there playing other people's content all the fucking time, right? All the time, Tiffany's playing other people's content. I mean, it's all she does, right? I mean, I don't watch her because I don't have fucking 10 hours of my day to put aside and sit there and watch her. But the few times I've turned her channel on, she has other people's content playing on her channel constantly. Somebody takes a fucking little clip from her channel, she strikes them. A small channel. Like you're so big and bad, right? You have 15,000 subscribers or whoever it is. And oh, I'm sorry, Winky. And she's striking social feed. Who had, you know what I'm saying? Like, why do you go after these tiny little channels? Like, you're such a fucking baby. You are such a fucking baby. That shit gets me so angry because I'm like, dude, don't come on here if you can't take criticism. What the fuck are you doing on social media? Winky, that's very hard, girl. I'm sorry that you're going through that because I had to go through it and it's like a whole nother loss in and of itself, you know? It's like you're losing your mom all over again. She's a pussy, that's why. Exactly. So she's going after this small, you know, little channel. Social feed's not a big channel. She doesn't have like tons of subscribers. Like, why are you even bothering? Just because she had an opinion about you? Like, she's such a fucking baby. She's such a baby. Winky, I had a really rough time with that selling my mom's house. Like I still do. I actually just went back over there for the first time in like probably 2 years. I went over, you know, my mom's neighbor who helped me out tremendously while, you know, my mom was sick and after she passed away, she actually had this piece of furniture that, you know, she took from my mom's house and then she was like, you know, she realized she doesn't really have any, you know, space for it. So she called me and she's like, do you want to take it back? I don't want to just get rid of it. So I was like, you know what? I think I will take it back because unfortunately I couldn't keep any of my mom's furniture when she died. It just, I took one, I took this little bench that I purchased for her. Um, I took this table that's still sitting in my garage because I just don't have anywhere to put it. I really liked it. It was from her bedroom. It was probably one of her newer pieces. And then, you know, that was it. I couldn't fit anything else in my house. And like looking back now, there's things that I wish I did take, but I just couldn't. You know, at the time I had nowhere to put them. So Now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, man, I wish I kept her china cabinet, at least like the buffet part of it, because, it was nice. I could have like refinished it or painted it, or, you know what I'm saying? And I just couldn't at the time. I was in like such a rush, and it just wasn't happening. So, it was nice for her to give me that back. I'm gonna try to do something with it, paint it or something. It's like a little, it's this cute little round like curio cabinet kind of thing. So it's unique, I've never really seen anything like it. It's got a little light in it. It's cute, and I used to love it when I was a kid. So I went over there, and I'm hanging out, and I'm just like, I'm looking out the window, and I'm like, man, it's so weird just being here, and I can't like go across the street and walk into my mom's house. They changed it. They cut all the trees down in the front yard. Um, it just looks so different, and it's like, it's just weird. It's a weird feeling. I grew up in that house my whole life. So it's it's just weird. And I try to like not go there because it makes me so sad, but it is what it is. I mean, I have to just deal with it. I would have loved to keep it. I just couldn't, we just, so I know what you're going through, Winky. I feel I feel your pain. I feel really lonely without my best friend. I can't even go into my old neighborhood. Yeah, Beeford, like it's just hard for me to even drive through there. I was having like anxiety before I had to go back there like that day, like, and I'm like, oh my god, because it's just sad. It's like this was once my home for the better portion of my life. That was my home, and it's fucking weird. It's just weird being over there and knowing that. Mm. It's just like a whole nother part of the, you know, book chapter that you have to close. It's so fucking hard. It's so hard. So hard. I always remind her she's not a burden to me. Yeah. I miss my mom every day. I think about her all the time. It just sucks. Packing, having to go through the rest of the items just makes me cry. It's not fair. It is hard, girl. Winky, it's been 5 years and I still haven't gone through the boxes that I took from our house. Like, I can't. I can't even like bring myself to do it. I just can't. Too many too many things to look at. She's doing good. I pick her up tomorrow after almost a 7-day break. I needed a break, but always miss her when she's not here. Yeah, you do need those breaks though, girl. It's good to take them. I can only imagine. It's still hard to go to my parents without my mom there, but losing the house altogether would be devastating. My heart breaks for you guys. I mean, you guys saw my videos. I'm like, just so, I look back at those videos and I'm just like, oh my God, I was so like fucking like, I can't explain like the feeling of like when I finally got her house emptied and then just walking in there and just seeing the house like empty with like no life in it anymore. Oh, it was so fucking sad. It was so fucking sad. It was so hard for me to let go of the house. And then at the same time, having my brother and his wife rushing me to like get rid of it with no fucking like sentimental attachment to anything in it or anything about it. That was just making me 10 times more upset, you know? It was like, I can't believe, like, you're just so cold about this. Like, I just couldn't wrap my head around it. Like, I'm thinking in my head, like, this doesn't upset you at all. But then I'm like, no, my brother wasn't even here for the last 2 years of her life. Why would he be upset about getting rid of that fucking house? I spent so much time at my mom's house, even after I moved out. I still felt like it was my home, you know? My mom would, if I would have, my mom was still here and I called her tomorrow and I'd be like, Mom, I have to come live with you for whatever reason. She'd be like, come on, let's go. You know, like it was my home. Man, that was my second home. It was my first home and it was my second home when I moved out. I could go back there anytime and feel like you're at home, you know? Mm, that's so cool, Soldier. That's awesome. Killed me leaving my house with my kids' growth chart written onto their closet. Aw. Yeah, beefer. That's hard. That's hard. My parents were the, I think, second owners to own that house. So, like, it was our house. And like seeing it now changed, like, they changed the front yard. They chopped down. My mom had one thing my mom was really good at. Um, she took really good care of the outside of the house, like the landscaping, the gardens. She kind of like fell off, after my dad passed away because she just wasn't as into it. But she had good taste in like plants and shrubs and just really good. It's funny because the other day I was like, me and my husband, we had to redo some of our flower beds, and I'm like, oh, I wish my mom was here because like I just don't know what to put where. Like she was so good. Like, she'd be like, here, put these on the border and put this here and put that there. Like she was so good at that. And she knew how everything was gonna grow. And I don't know, she just had like a good eye for that. And I just don't have it. I try, but it's just not as good as hers. And so on our front lawn, we had some nice trees. She had a weeping cherry tree. So it was like an ornamental tree. And then she had this really cool Japanese maple tree, I think it was, that had these really, really beautiful red leaves. It would get these really beautiful red leaves in the summer. It was so pretty. It was such a beautiful tree. And then there was this big oak tree that was in the front yard. There was a couple of them grouped together. Those I could have fucking done without. But it was nice. It created a nice shade on the front lawn, kept the house nice and cool in the summer because it shaded. I drive up there and I'm like, something looks different about the front yard. And I'm like, oh my God, the fucking trees, all the trees are gone. I'm like, it's one of the things I liked about my mom's neighborhood. Cause like where I grew up, we were kind of carved out of a park. There was a park down there that like a preserve kind of area where they had woods and trails and all that shit. So it was a very, shady area, like meaning not shady like shady people, but like there was a lot of nice trees around there. I liked it. Feels nice and cozy, I guess. I don't know. When you go into neighborhoods and there's no trees, like it just looks so weird. Like it just looks like houses, like those newer developments that you go into, like they just clear out the whole area. There's no trees there, and it just seems so barren. Like I like that about my mom's neighborhood is that there's a lot of trees. I mean, there's even one part of her neighborhood where it like kind of goes down. There's hills, and that area is really, really shady. It's weird. But her area wasn't as shady, but there was like a lot of trees and I just kind of like it. I don't know. I like that area with a lot of trees like that. And they like cut down all the fucking trees between the neighbors and then the people that live at my mom's house. And I'm like, "Oh my god, they got rid of all these beautiful trees." So, me and my husband just ripped out a bunch of bushes over here. So we're going to my mom had in the backyard around our pool, she had this really beautiful tree. It was a Japanese, what the fuck is it called? I gotta look on my phone. Japanese weeping. Fuck. It's a very, very beautiful tree. So I said to my husband, I was trying to think of like what to put in the area where we just ripped out some of these bushes. And I'm like, I want that tree that my mom had. Uh fuck, what is the name of it? Is it a juniper? Weeping juniper, I think? Or Atlas? Weeping Atlas. Maybe that's it. One of those. Where it looks like it has like little pine needles on it instead of leaves. I would love a weeping willow tree, but I don't have enough room on my property for one of those. They get way too big. I think it's called a weeping atlas or juniper, something like that. It looks like a juniper. It has those little kind of like light colored. um needles on it. And I was like, that's what I want because I have like a whole little Japanese style garden near my pond. And I'm like, I just want, it'll remind me of my mom, her house, because, that fucking thing's so annoying. I love weeping willow trees. Like, I would fucking love to have one of those, but I don't know how good they do up here. Mm, mm. And I don't know. Um, I know they take up a lot of room. I loved I used to have a large maple tree in my front yard. I would decorate it every Christmas. Aw. I know, sitting under a tree is so tranquil. I just love, like, I don't know, I love, like, anything weeping, any kind of weeping tree or, like, even plants, like, flowers that, like, spill over the side of the pot or, like, trailing plants. I don't know, I just love that whole, like, look for some reason. So but yeah, I wonder if they cut that tree down because that's actually a really expensive tree that my mom had in the backyard. I'll never forget when she planted it, and I'm like, "Oh, it'd be so sad to know if they cut it down." It was right near her pool, and it just looks so pretty, but who knows? They probably cut it down. They just seem to not like trees, but I shouldn't talk. We cut down tons of trees on my property too. Well, because whoever lived here before us, we actually had beautiful trees here, but one of them was, like, dying, so we had to cut that down. Then we had this really cool I think it was some sort of ornamental cherry tree or plum tree. It produced these little fruits that looked like little baby plums or, like, large cherries, and it was really pretty, but they, like, planted it right up against the house. It was, like, not a good place for it, and it was anytime we would have, like, wind, it would, like, smack against our bedroom window, and it was just, like I'm like, "Why would you fucking plant the tree there?" You know? Like, what a stupid place for it. Then we had a beautiful Atlas tree that I had never seen before, but it was right over the driveway, and when you parked your car under it, it was crazy. It used to, like, sprinkle sap all over your car. So, like, our cars were covered. Like, my front windshield, when I would get in my car, it would almost look like it was raining. And then you would turn the windshield wipers on, it would just smear this, like, snap like sap. Like, it just sprinkled this sap all over the car all the time. It was really annoying. And we were like, I love the tree. It was a beautiful tree, but we had to cut it down because we were widening our driveway and it was, like, right in the way, and plus the sap getting all over your car was so annoying because, like, it would really get all over your windshield, and then you would have to, like it wouldn't come off with just, like, spraying it. Trees are what about the roots? The roots didn't do any damage, thankfully. A lot of trees I mean, depending on what kind of tree, but a lot of trees have like tap roots, which means like they grow straight down the root and it really just creates like one big long root. And then that root branches out tinier roots. And I believe that's the kind of tree that was planted near the house. So thankfully, the roots didn't do any damage to the foundation or anything. It was just more of an annoyance, you know? We had to like cut it all the time because it was like right in the way of like where you would walk up to like my porch. The branches would hang in the way. It would just, I don't know. We just didn't like where it was placed. It was a really pretty tree. It was just in a really bad place. Growing up, we had a crabapple tree. Oh my God, those things drop tons of apples. The those little, I know what you're talking about. I'm still brain fucked on those time clocks. I don't think so, Deborah. The footage is so bad. It's so pixelated. It doesn't really matter. I mean, we can figure out the basic time on the clock, which is I don't know about the time that she left, but the time that she checked into the hotel, it might even be out there. The information might be out there. I just don't remember it because I've read so much and heard so much about this case. It could be out there. I just, it probably is more likely than not. I just don't personally remember it, what time she checked out. I just found it weird that they didn't put any timestamps on the video so that If you're releasing a video like that for help from the public, you would think that you would include the timestamps on it so that people would, you know, if you're looking for somebody to have some type of memory, that's the time would be essential for that. Have some kind of Japanese tree, beautiful once a year, but during that time, leaves fall, making a mess of our driveway. Yeah, we have that same problem. I don't think he'll be able to read it though, dude. If you see how small the video is, like it's so pixelated and so bad. I don't know what he could possibly do to make it more legible. Mm. Like when videos are poor quality like that, it's very hard to like recover the quality of a video. Like once something's pixelated, you can't really unpixelate it, unfortunately. I mean, you could play with the contrast maybe and the brightness and maybe darken it up and possibly see something. But if you see how small the video is, like I don't know, I just can't see it being, but you never know. The storm took out my fence. Oh my god. Oh no, girl. We've had that happen. Morning when the apples come in. Hello, I just got here. Sorry. I follow the list case. Is there a video of list? No. There's a video. If you follow the case, Daniel, um, you could go to Gilgo. Excuse me. Well, you could rewind here. I show it at the beginning, but um there's a they released video of one of the victims, Megan Waterman, who was in the hotel. They basically just released the security footage of her in the hotel, which really doesn't do anything, to help the case. But I don't know. I guess they're just trying to show that they're open and willing to share, some stuff with the public, which is good. It's good. Luckily, I saw it and I didn't run it over. Oh my god, girl, that's always nice to come home to, right? Mm-mm. I gotta go finish my Easter shopping. I didn't. I don't. I'm like so. I'll tell you what. I don't mind Christmas shopping. I fucking hate doing the Easter basket. I fucking hate it. I don't know why. Because I hate like trying to find things that fit in those little fucking eggs. What a pain in the ass. What a pain in the ass. I only have one kid, so I've gone a little extra, the last couple years. So now I'm like, oh, I need to do this again. Stuffing Easter eggs and hiding them. My son's like, could you tell the Easter bunny to hide the eggs a little bit better this year? Because I guess they weren't hidden good enough in the last couple of years. I'm like, okay. Like how, like, I don't know. I'm like, really, what do you want me to do here? I'm trying. I'm trying. He's like, last year they weren't hidden that good. I'm like, yeah, money fits in there. We put, yeah, money, candy. But I'm like, you know what? I don't even want to buy all the fucking junk. I buy like these little fucking, like miniature cars and miniature this and miniature. And you know what ends up happening? It just ends up being junk around my house. Did money on. So I think I'm just gonna do candy this year, money, and then I bought him other stuff. I got he's big time into drawing now. Like he watches this YouTube channel where the guy teaches you how to draw and all this shit. So he's like all into like the coloring, the markers. So I bought him this like nice set of markers, and he's like stepping fucking thing. Sorry, it muted me again. He's not like, you know what I'm saying? He's not like one of those kids that like leaves the caps off and lets the markers dry out. Otherwise, I would never buy him those. But he's at that age now where he understands he's gonna ruin the marker if he fucking dries it out. So, he's pretty good about putting his markers back where they belong. So I'm like, all right, he could step up. And he's like really into this drawing shit right now. So I got him some, drawing stuff. I'm gonna throw in his little basket. So crazy. So crazy. I remember when he was young, like when they're like really young, you struggle because you don't want to put anything in there that they're going to choke on, you know? And now it's like, I could put the small things in the Easter eggs, but like, why? Like, why? It's all junk. He doesn't really play with toys anymore, my son. He's 9. Like I don't know. He doesn't really play with any of his toys. I haven't seen him play with a toy in fucking like a year at least. I don't see him like playing with his cars or anything anymore, which is so sad. We just threw out his when he was a baby. It was actually when my mom was in the hospital back in 2016. I think he was like 3. I was driving home from the hospital one night and I saw that somebody was throwing away one of those like little Tykes playhouses, like the Rubbermaid playhouse. So I called my husband up. I'm like, yo, the people around the corner are throwing away this playhouse. So like me and him, it's like midnight. Me and him are like out in the street with those dollies and we are pushing the playhouse from like around the corner. And Jesse loved this thing. Loved it. It was perfect because it wasn't like a girls' playhouse. It was a boys' one. So they had like a little gas pump on it, and it had a little soccer net, and it was really cute. It was like a workshop. It had like fake tools hanging on it, and he fucking loved that thing, man. Like come summertime, if I needed to find Jesse, he was out in that little playhouse. You know, it was the best free thing I ever picked up off the streets, I'll tell you. And we just got rid of it the other day. I was like so sad. And that and his grave digger power wheels, we got rid of that too. I was like, oh my God, he's growing. Like he's getting so big he doesn't want to play with those things anymore. It's so sad. Yeah, those playhouse things are expensive. That's why it was in pretty good shape, you know. And I was like, shit, it's free. Somebody's throwing it out. So we just ran down the block and we wheeled it back to my house. We threw it on like these little wheel things and wheeled it back. Because I was like, I'm not going to spend all that money on one of those things. How long do they realistically play with those things? Like, we were going to buy a swing set. And then I was like, I never did. Because I'm like, you know what's going to end up happening? How long is he really going to play with the swing set? A couple of years. And then he'll grow out of it, and then we're gonna be stuck with this swing set that we're gonna have to take apart. No thanks. Mm. Kluge Pirates Creative Face sticker book. It's awesome. Oh shit, I lost that. Hold on. He'd probably like something like that. My daughter has never been a fan of dolls. Makes me sad. She liked the LOL surprise. I never liked dolls either when I was a kid. It's awesome and they have blank. Oh, that's pretty cool, Winky. I'll have to check that out. I was never into dolls either. I don't get that whole LOL surprise thing. Like, what the hell are those things? I asked her why. She said they're creepy. They're always staring at you. I wasn't into dolls either. I'm sure your neighbor was happy. I hate throwing things like that away. I used to hope someone would take it at night. I know, me too, Kathy. Whenever we got rid of like, those kind of things, I'm like, oh, I hope somebody takes it. Thank God we have 2 kids down the block, from us, like younger kids. And the dad, he's young. The one dad, he's like in his 20s. And he fucking takes everything. Between him and the other guy, they take all of our fucking leftovers, which is perfect because, I want that. If we put like tricycles out there, anything we put out of Jesse's, they usually take it for their kids. And I'm fine with that. It makes me happy, in fact, because I hate just throwing it out. I decided I'm giving myself an Easter basket. You go, girl. I gotta go through his toys. That's what I need to go through up in his room. That's a lot of their tiny toys and put them in big mason jars on my bookcase. Aw. I liked dolls until my older cousins had me watch Child's Play. Yeah, that'll definitely turn you off to dolls. I just never liked dolls. I don't know. They creep me out. My mom used to have this doll that was in this like little fucking, it had like a porcelain face or something, and it was in this little carriage, this like wicker carriage basket thing that she had, and every time you would walk the eyes would blink. Ugh, My friend, oh my god, my friend's mom collected those porcelain dolls that the eyes like follow you. So I'll never forget. Like I never really had been in his house, right? I knew this kid like my whole life. Sorry. He moved. So when he moved into his new house, he's like, "Come in." He's like, "I gotta show you something." I'm like, "What?" Dude, she had this whole room set up with these glass cabinets and the fucking dolls in them. Oh my god. I was like, "Yo, I'd never sleep in this room." Like those fucking dolls are so creepy. They were the ones where like the eyes blinked and they like moved. Oh my god, it was so fucking creepy. She had like hundreds of them. I mean, like in this one room, it was like I was like, I'm not coming in here ever again. I don't know. I was just always creeped out by dolls. Even when I was a kid, I just never fucking liked them. Ugh, no, thank you. Especially like the baby dolls. There's something about like making a baby. You know what I'm saying? Like making a baby, trying to recreate a baby. It just creeps me out. Like if they're cartoony looking, I don't mind them. But when they're like those porcelain ones, oh, I don't know. I hated that thing. I was so happy when my mom got rid of that fucking thing. It was so weird. I guess that was like a thing in the 80s, maybe, because I remember a lot of my friends, like their moms had those dolls. I don't know. I guess it was like some type of thing. Would you ever date? Hell no, I'd never date a guy that had dolls on his bed. Fuck no. Hell no. If I walked in there with dolls, I'd be like, bye. Or I'd be like, where's my pepper spray? I know you love your dolls. I know you do, girl. I'm just personally, dolls have always creeped me out for some reason. Just like some people are scared of clowns and stuff. But hey, if it makes you happy, that's what's important. I think it's cool that you actually make those things. She like puts them together. My brother don't want her having candy. She gets so much energy. Who's that, wild one? Hey, wild one. That was some fucking thing the other day, huh, wild one? That was that was interesting. Fucking Rex, dude, comes up on Angel's panel, running his fucking mouth as per usual, just being a total douche fucking nozzle. He's such a dick. Went back and watched Thank You Good. The police are more transparent, but the video is not going to help to solve the case. I'm with you, Daniel. Totally 100%. Like, I I'm sorry, my microphone keeps muting itself. Um, you know what I'm saying? They're releasing things that they don't have to go through as much red tape just to show that they're trying to be transparent. I feel like it's kind of like a peace offering, and then hopefully as time goes on and they get through all the other red tape, they start releasing more important things like the 911 call and things to that nature. Some more evidence that, maybe the public could help with. So I mean, it's useless, but at the same time, I could kinda see why they did it. That dude is a freaking asshat. That had 2 lamest insults he uses over and over. I know. He's like, "Oh," I can't stand that, man, like, especially from him, right? Because, like, come up with, like, you're more intelligent than that, right? Well, not really, but come up with something, like, a little more creative than that, dude. Like, the birthday thing, come on, dude. We've heard that shit a million times. Stop repeating things that other people have said over and over again. I am being humbly mentioning him. Good, wild one. It's just so fucking lame. And what's more lame is this Mel D lady who was like so personally offended as if like it was happening to her. Who is this woman? Does anybody know who she is? I don't even know who she is. But I'm like, why is she why? Why is she talking like why is she talking about this? Dolls, I do like your puppets though. I will admit that. I like the puppets. They're cute. I think he subscribes to word of the day and repeats them over. Yeah, like nuanced and I don't know. He has all these stupid words that he just uses over and over again. Why was she so offended though? She acted as if like we were personally attacking her. She's like, they're going crazy over there. Like, just some. I listened to about like 10 minutes and I just shut it off because I was like, I don't even understand why this woman is so even bothered by this or why she's even discussing it. My mom had a Charlie McCarthy puppet. Oh, my mom had one of those things. I don't know. I don't know what it was called. I believe the cop that was recently arrested for unrelated things is involved in the deaths. Which cop is that, Daniel? Mel D is from Scottish Mafia with her friend Clary. Oh, okay. I've seen the name around. I just didn't know. No, she had none of the story straight. None of it. I mean, how could she when we she's talking about it while we're live still? So how could she have the whole story straight? She could lick his wound Zed. She didn't understand what was going on. You know, nobody was blaming him or blaming Steph. It was more about God. Hold on, I'm gonna switch over to my phone because this is really starting to annoy the shit out of me. Just give me a second here. She is hard to understand. Yeah, I'd say so. All right, hold on. There's all right, finally, I don't have to deal with this fucking thing restarting. So annoying. She was totally wrong about what she was saying, first of all, but second of all, um, she doesn't understand. It's not about I mean, I'm pretty sure Angel knew that Steph isn't the person who is talking shit. It's a respect thing. You know, it's like we were friends at one time. I've been respectful towards you and your friends, right? Angel's been very respectful to Steph, her friends. She hasn't been in chats talking shit about her. She hasn't been on panels where they talk shit about her. She hasn't talked shit about herself, right? So when you're respectful towards somebody like that, even if you're not friends with them anymore and you're not talking to them anymore, you expect that same kind of respect back, right? So for her to see that Steph is hosting a panel and allowing Rex to sit there and talk about, you know, her friend and not even saying anything about it, she was upset with Steph because they're the ones who had a friendship. You know, Angel never had a friendship with Rex, you know, so nobody cares what he thinks or has to say. It's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing to resolve there because there was never a friendship there. But you would expect that somebody who, you know, you cared about and cared about you, that they would just have a little bit more respect for you and the people that you care about, the same way that you're showing them respect. I mean, I totally got what Angel's saying because it's the same for me with Steph. You know, I feel the same way. I've been very respectful towards Steph. You know, our friendship ended. I have never spoken about her publicly, you know, until the other day. I don't talk badly about her because I don't want to fight with her. I don't have a desire to fight with her. I just don't want to be friends with her anymore. You know, I don't want to talk to her anymore. I just like she went, you know, down a path that I'm just not cool with and I'm just going to stay away. It's, you know, pretty simple. But, you know, then it's like I'm being put into videos. Don't include me in that shit, dude. I don't want nothing to do with that. Please don't put me in your arguments with other people. You know, I don't need to be included in any of that shit. Leave me out of it. Whoever it is. His smile says, I'm going to eat your face. You talking about Rex? Rex is always lurking in the bushes waiting to defend Steph. It's fucking strange. And that's the other thing. You know, Angel's like, yeah, she sent Rex. well, who knows if I know he just jumps up on panels on his own. I'm sure he does. And I'm sure there's other times where she tells him to go up there. It's probably a little 50-50 mixture of both. Either way, like, nobody needs to talk to him. Like, I have nothing to discuss with that guy. I don't have anything even to discuss with her. But, from Angel's perspective, I could see why she called Steph to the carpet and then he shows up. Like, you know, that's, it's just fucking weird. I'm not very familiar with Rex other than what I've heard about him. Not my cup of tea. No, not my cup of tea either. I don't think he's many women's cup of tea. No, nobody wants to be around somebody like that. He's so fucking hateful and angry, dude. I've never seen somebody so fucking. He's like so emotionally invested in this shit. Like, but yet it's mind blowing to me because sometimes, we're all grannies, right? Fucking Karens, whatever the fuck he calls us. Yet he's so emotionally invested. like, dude, you're way too invested in this shit for something that people that you hate. You certainly know a lot about us, and then you're also like extremely emotionally invested in us, and it's fucking weird. Jamesburg is the cop. 3 more Long Island cops were recently arrested for selling drugs. I believe the police force was supplying LISK girls with drugs and needed to keep that a secret. I believe the selling of the drugs is why they wouldn't allow the FBI. Hey, you could be onto something. I also think they were involved with the prostitution too. There was like some type of prostitution ring going on. Absolutely. I thought he was done with our community and he already humiliated all he can, so he's moving on. I guess. I don't know who he he humiliated, but yeah, Angel handed him his ass. Handed him his ass. It's like this. I don't want an apology. Just keep my name out your mouth, and that's it. There you go, wild one. I don't listen. I don't need apologies from anybody because if you're not gonna give an apology, like I've always felt this way. If you're not gonna apologize on your own, I'm not begging you for a fucking apology. Like, I don't need an apology that bad. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to beg anybody for an apology ever. I'm never gonna do that. If you don't come to me on your own and apologize like a grown ass fucking adult, then I don't want your apology. I don't want somebody else to have to tell you to apologize to me because then it's just like defeats the whole purpose of the apology, you know? But I understand where Angel was coming from that day, you know? She felt disrespected by Steph. She felt that's what it was about. She felt like she's been very respectful towards Steph. She hasn't shared any personal things about her. She hasn't gone after her. She hasn't talked about her. She's not in chats where Steph's being discussed. And then it's like, there's these videos being made about her, and all this other shit going on. And it's like, why? I think this was the tip of the iceberg for her that day. An apology without change is just manipulation, nothing more. I think she was hurt and disrespected. Exactly. No reason for Steph to send that man up there. Like, whether she sent him or not, it doesn't even matter. There's just no need for him to even be up there. Nobody gives a fuck what he has to say. Like, literally nobody. The only time anybody cares what he has to say is when he's talking shit. And he doesn't even know what he's talking about half the time. Other than that, I don't fucking have any reason to resolve anything with somebody like him because I was never friends with him to begin with. There's nothing to resolve there, dude. It's just shut the fuck up, move on. I don't bother you. That's it. It's just fucking stupid. I don't care what any of those guys have to say, to be quite honest with you. I was just shocked the other day. Nat Clove released this messages with her, and it just happened to like I happen to see it, and I'm like, let me just fucking see what this is about. I don't watch anything having to do with any of those people. I don't care about them. I don't think about them. I just happened to open it that day for some reason. I was bored. It was like early in the morning. And I was just like kind of taken back because I'm like, holy shit. Like, the manipulation is just so blatantly obvious. And I'm like, what is going on here? Like, what are you doing, dude? What the fuck are you doing? Why are you fucking using these people to do all these like stupid things? I just don't get it. I don't understand. And then sit there and act like you're a victim. It's like you're just as bad as you say the other people are. The part that bothered me though was the whole like the manipulation of it all. The, do this and do that and say this and say that, kind of leading him on, at the same time, knowing that you don't have the same type of feelings. Like that shit fucking, I have no respect for women who do that to men. I just don't. I never have, and I never will. I can't stand when girls lead on guys that they know that they're not gonna fucking be. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. You're as a woman, especially in your 30s, 40s, you know when a man's interested in you. You know what I'm saying? You know when a man is talking to you, bowing down to you, doing everything for you. You know that it's not just because he wants to be friends with you. You know what I'm saying? So it's obvious. And it's like, why are you even playing into that? And then taking advantage of it too. I'm sorry, I just don't have respect for people like that. I just, the stories with the money, oh, I don't have money. I'm waiting for a check to clear. I've heard this from several people. The same fucking story that keeps going on and on and on. And she's not the only one who's doing it. But, manipulating people behind the scenes, lying to them. Like, I'm just not okay with that shit. Sorry. I don't do it. And I don't respect other people who do it. Knowing that you're probably not even fucking paying the person back. Maybe. I don't know. I just would never feel that comfortable with a complete stranger, to ask them for money. I don't know. I just never would feel comfortable asking a stranger off the internet that I don't know and never met in person to borrow money. Like, but that's just me. I will go broke. I'll go hungry before I ask anybody to borrow money. I mean, I've probably in my whole entire life asked to borrow money from people maybe 2 times. One time I borrowed $50 from my friend because I had to pay for something. I don't even remember what it was. And another time I had to borrow money to pay my insurance from my aunt and uncle, and I paid them back. I mean, that's it. I would never ask some stranger that I never fucking even met to borrow money for something. I got behind on my bills at one point in time. I asked my, aunt and uncle to pay my insurance. They helped me out and I paid them back. Like, other than that, if I needed money, my bill would be late or I would fucking starve that week. Like, I hate asking people for shit. I'm just one of those people. I don't like asking people for help. I like to just take care of things on my own. It takes a lot for me to actually ask somebody for help. I've been fortunate enough to never have borrowed money from people. Nana, my checkbook got froze. Yeah, right. I would have to be hard up to ask friends or family for money. I would never ask strangers. And mind you, this was like in my 20s when this happened. I mean, I don't know. I just to ask a total stranger on the internet, like, no, definitely not. Like, what's going on there? I'm not saying, listen, I don't know what she's doing with the money, but I'm just saying, for somebody that's going around talking about how this one's begging for birthday money, at least Angel, first of all, never asked for $1 when she went live that day, right? She, number one, wasn't the person who said it was her birthday. Somebody else said it in the chat. Okay. Number two, she never, ever came on here asking anybody for anything, ever. She's never sat up here asking. People gave because they wanted to. You know, everybody did that day. And big deal. She doesn't come up here ever asking anybody for a goddamn thing, ever. So, you know, they sit around and they go around talking about it and misrepresenting it like she's going around begging for money. And that's just not how it is. You're wrong. You're lying, you know? But then you're friends with somebody who's literally behind the scenes hustling guys with pictures for their feet. I mean, desperate times call for desperate measures. You know, they're asking money from all sorts of people, you know, and you don't question that. You don't question why that is. Come on, dude. So walks like a duck and talks like a duck. Just saying. I ain't engaging with him for what? So something bad can happen to me health wise. No, it's not worth it. Exactly, wild one. I won't watch. I won't even. I don't give a fuck if they talk about me. Don't talk. I won't watch it. I'm not gonna fucking even engage. I'm not gonna watch it. I don't want nothing to do with those people. You know, there's a reason I don't talk about them typically, or don't engage with them, or don't go into chats where they're even being discussed. You won't even find me in a live where they're being discussed. Like, it's just I have no interest in them. The only reason, you know, I ended up on her panel that day is just because I happened to see that video and I was just like, what the fuck? Like, wow. Just wow. You know, I don't know. I don't know how you feel comfortable, you know, manipulating somebody like that. I just don't, I don't know. I just can't do that. So I don't get it. Something that I don't understand. It's a very foreign concept to me. I want to know how much feet pics are going for today, asking for a friend. Oh my God. So, I mean, I don't even have anything to say further than that. I just think it's fucking sick. You know, that's it. That's pretty much it. Mm-mm. Some people have no conscience. No, they don't. That's the whole thing, Beefer. Like, I just, like, I'm one of those people that, like, first of all, if I owe somebody money, like, I, I'll be, like, so hyper focused on, like, having to give their money back. You know what I'm saying? Which is probably why I don't borrow money from people, just because, like, well, I don't need to, but I'm just saying, like, I, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get that, like, anxiety when I borrow money from somebody. And I just feel so weird asking people for help. Like, I don't know. Do men prefer nail polish or bear? I don't know. It's a good question. But he's going around. My problem is with Rex is that he goes around accusing people of being drug addicts. They're stealing from cars. This one's a meth head. That one's a meth head. This one's a fucking addict. And it's like, dude, why are you not questioning what's right in front of your fucking face? Like, I remember seeing a video months ago, well, you know, where she's like pouring fucking acrylic, right, on top of her nails, trying to explain away this fucking picture. And I'm like, nah, girl, no. That's not how we do. You don't make lines of nail acrylic, right? And then dump it on your nails. I've never done that. Been doing my nails for a good, you know, year, and I've never been in a situation where I've had to make lines of nail acrylic and then dump it on my nails like that. I mean, you can use it like that. I've sugared a nail before with acrylic, but like, I don't know, girl. Kind of fucking weird. But he just buys that shit hook, line, and sinker, right? He's very, he's like, he's very clearly against people who use drugs or who have used drugs in their past. You know, I guess he's perfect and he's never had an addiction, and that's great. Good for you, you know? But to sit there and judge everybody and call everybody drug addicts and this and that, it's just fucking gross. Fergs, me too, girl. I've been bamboozled quite a few times, so my My YouTube giving days are over. I have one membership that I'm even on, and it's Alicia's, and it's only because she sent me, candles and shit, and she like refuses to let me like even pay for the shipping. And so I feel like at least I could give it back to her like through membership money. But that's it. I just I I don't know. I'm just like so jaded, I guess, by YouTube. And his weirdo wannabe sure does. What's that? He has talked mad shit about single mothers too, calls them welfare mom, like all single mothers get assistance. Why would women respect him, especially those who are or have been a single mother? Well, yeah, like that's the other thing. You can sit there and say that, but you don't think that he's just blind or something. He looks like a fucking chump. like, I guess I should put it that way. He looks real stupid doing that, and I wish he knew how stupid he looked. Maybe he'll figure it out one day. But do I really care if he figures it out? No, I don't. His poor fake fiance does everything he can get his hands on. Who's that? Well, for moms, his friend is begging strange men for money on the tubes, laughing my ass off. That's what I'm saying. Like, so how could you sit around judging other people when that's going on right in front of your face and you just have nothing to say about that? Come on, dude. Like, you look like a fucking chump, dude. To the rest of us who know shit, I'll just put it like that. You look like a fucking chump. You're lucky that we're respectful people. My credit card number was stolen, so I'll sign up again when my new credit card comes. Oh, shit. Remember that woman who went to MGL, who went on MGL and burned toast? Can't remember her name. Claimed her daughter and granddaughter were murdered. Sound just like Pookie T to me. Oh, what was her name? Susan? No, was it? I don't know. I don't remember her name. I don't watch MGL. Who even knows what the fuck is going on with that crazy fuck bag? I just can't. I can't with her. Tiffany, I can't watch them. I just can't do it. Mm-mm. I can't deal with all the fucking Summer Wells drama bullshit. It's like all this drama around this poor little girl who's missing. It's so sad. So sad. As soon as I heard her voice, I said, that sounds like Pookie. I think somebody else said that, Sarah. You're not alone on that. Yeah, Tiffany is a nut. She's beyond a nut. Beyond. She had another rage quit from what I seen on Cruise last night. Again, Crazy Gemini? Oh my God, dude. She's like really fucking losing it. Why now? Why? What's going on? Oh shit. Amazon Prime stuff also at Root Insurance. That's weird. I'm just big mad that her buddy Justin is getting more views than her now. Oh, uh, Justice for All. He's getting more views than her. Listen, all these Summer Wells views are temporary. All these people, they think they're like channels are blowing up. It's temporary. Once they stop putting her name in the title, you'll see. I mean, their views will go down. It's just like the Chris Watts case. My word of the day is crazy fuckbag. People are questioning her seizure and she didn't like it. Oh, she had a seizure? Sure. I heard some clip somewhere, I think it was on that Stardust Memories channel, where she said, she's like, she's saying that she had a seizure in the doctor's office, right? And then the doctor she's like, the doctor didn't do anything. And I'm thinking, well, then you probably didn't have a seizure. Like, you know what I'm saying? You probably didn't have a seizure. Just like she always says she has migraine headaches. Dude, that shit just gets me so annoyed because as somebody who suffered their whole childhood with migraine headaches, like Girl, you don't have no migraine headache if you're sitting up on a fucking live talking to people. If you actually had a migraine, you would not even want to be live. You wouldn't be able to talk. Like, you wouldn't even be able to hold a conversation, especially if you have migraine with aura, where you get all fucked up beforehand. Like, I mean, there's no way. There's just no fucking way you would be even sitting there talking if you had a fucking real migraine. I cannot stand when people do that. They're like, oh my God, I have a migraine. No, you don't. No, you don't. I'm not saying you can't get a migraine, but if you're sitting there able to calmly talk, you probably don't have a migraine. You probably just have a really bad headache. But there's a total difference between a headache and a migraine. And if you don't know the difference, then you've never had a migraine. A migraine comes with a lot more than just pain. I mean, you can't even open your eyes. The lights hurt your eyes. I mean, like, intensely. So you don't have a fucking migraine. I hate when people like misuse it because it's like offensive. I suffer with migraines as a kid. You're not dealing with a migraine, girl. You're just not. You have a fucking headache. Go take some Tylenol. That's the other thing. Tylenol ain't doing shit for a fucking migraine. You know what I'm saying? If somebody's like, "Oh, I have a migraine, I took Tylenol." Yeah, great. That's not good. It's like you might as well just take sugar pill because it's not going to do anything for a migraine. Like, it's not even going to touch on a fucking migraine. I mean, my mom used to give me Tylenol when I was a kid when I had a migraine just to take down my fever. But because I used to get a fever, I used to be puking my guts out. My mom would put me in like a dark room, lights off, and put a garbage pail next to me because I'd be puking my brains out. You can't eat certain things. Food tastes weird. It's. I was checking out that video yesterday. It's interesting to see that. I almost sent you the link, but figured you already had it. Yeah, great. No, I just saw it this morning. I was like, I want to know what value it's going to add to the case. I don't feel like it's adding any type of value. It's weird, especially because I don't know if you went to the actual website, Gray, but they have 5 videos on the website. And if you go, one of them, she's not even in the video, I think. So I don't know if they're putting it up there for other reasons, or it's very strange. But I am happy that they release something. It's giving me hope that they're going to release more important things that will actually help solve the case. I just feel like something like that should have been released way back when. you know and even then it might have been too late, but at least it would have been more fresh in people's memories. Nowadays it's like, 12 years later, I don't know how many people are going to actually remember seeing her at the hotel that day. Maybe just someone recognizing her. Yeah. I mean, I personally feel like this guy, this new police commissioner plus the new district attorney, they're just trying to, show us that they're trying to be transparent with the case, or more transparent, and that, they're going to start releasing more evidence as they can. And, this was just like the first thing that they released. I hope they release Shannon Gilbert's 911 tapes next. I know there's been a lot of tie up in court about that because they were going to release them years ago, and then the police, whatever, they fought it in court, they appealed it. It was like going through this whole thing with the court. So I'd be interested to know where that stands and what's going to happen with that now. It's so hard to see anything though in that uh tape. Anyway, the video quality is just awful. So I'm just hoping to get this thing solved. It's been too long, too much BS. They need to solve this case already. She has a migraine, yet turns her music on and acts like she's Britney Spears. Yeah, that doesn't happen. That's what I'm saying. When I had migraines, like, I couldn't even move. I was just laying in bed crying. I mean, the pain is just so intense. It's so, there's just no other pain like it. I can't even explain it. Like, I've gotten headaches, bad headaches before, and it's just, there's such a difference between that and a migraine. She doesn't have a migraine. She is a migraine. Gray, if you're still here, Hummingbird wants to know if you could see it. I guess there was clocks somewhere on the wall. I'm figuring the time that she entered the hotel had to be after 3 o'clock. You know, it looks like it's dark out, but we can't see that when she enters the hotel. So we don't know how long she was up in her room for. Then she comes down, same shirt, so we know it's the same day. I wish they just would have included some timestamps on the footage that they released, because I feel like that might further help somebody remember something. There's one lady that walks out right after her. Like, if that lady saw anything, because she walks out and she turns towards the right and then disappears. If that one lady saw something, she could be a very big help case. I can't imagine suffering from migraines as a young kid. I didn't start getting them till I was 17 and I was 6 months pregnant. I thought I was having a stroke. Yeah, crazy Gemini. I was so scared when I got pregnant because I've heard of a lot of people, getting migraines when they're pregnant. And I was like terrified that I was going to get them again because I had them from like age 5 all the way until my teens. And I had a few in my 20s, but not as bad. But I mean, when I was really, really young, I had them very, very frequently. It was bad. I think mine were allergy related, but I mean, it was terrible. Absolutely terrible. Timestamps would be helpful for just anybody that was, staying in that hotel at that time or in that area at that time, or even for somebody who, maybe knows a person and knows that they went somewhere and maybe they were suspicious of a person leaving. You know what I'm saying? At that time. It's very interesting, but I hope they just release more relevant stuff, in the months to come. I'm already, I'm happy that they released that, but I'll be happy when they start releasing more stuff that has more relevancy, which should have been done 12 years ago, but I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining, but I am. Anyway, I got a hysterectomy. I don't get many now. A high blood pressure. I got some bad headaches. Girl, stay on top of that high blood pressure. Stay on top of that shit. High blood pressure is the number one cause of kidney failure. Number one. So I've been doing some DIY stuff lately and thinking of doing more, obviously. I made some cement pots and stuff. I actually just ordered more molds. I want to make like little pots and candle holders and shit with that. And then I did some tie dyeing. That was fun. It's a pain in the ass. Reverse tie dye. I'm making a shirt for my son's hockey tournament. And so the more I think about it, I'm like, I really need to start putting more DIY videos up on here. And I was thinking about memberships because I was like, maybe I should do some type of, I don't know, memberships with like DIY stuff. I don't know. I'm thinking, just thinking out loud. I am diabetic. I'm trying. Just had a bladder infection. No, that's not fun, girl. Yours must be hormone related. Mine are too. I can always expect a migraine the week before my period. Ugh. Yeah, CK, I did reverse tie dye, which is like you take a black shirt and then you have to bleach it first it's a big process rather than just, tie dyeing on like a white t-shirt. So you have to like bleach it first. Then you have to make sure that the bleach is like not, deactivated, and you have to wash it. And it's just like, oh, it's a big pain in the ass. And then dye it and then wash it again. What a pain in the ass. It came out pretty good, but I'm not fully done with it yet. I did 2 shirts just in case I messed one up. And meanwhile, I ordered 1 shirt off of Amazon. I typed in like 100% cotton shirt because, it usually works better on cotton. And I get it. And I'm like bleaching this shirt. And I'm like, what the fuck? This thing's like not bleaching. This happened to me one other time. And it was because it was 50% polyester and then 50%, cotton. But it's pretty cool. Name change from Nikki D. You like, yes, Nikki, yes, that's where I got the idea from the video you sent me. And I was like, oh wow, that's pretty cool. She sent me a video. That's right. I actually subscribed to that guy. He makes a lot of cool shit. I'm like watching all these people like making all these cool like things, and I'm like, why the fuck do I not do this? Like, so I made a cement flower pot, and then I'll have to post a picture of it in my community section. And then I did a couple of coasters. I just bought the molds just to try it. And then I don't know. I bought more molds though. I want to do like little candle holders and shit like that. I actually saw this, we talk about candle companies on here quite a lot. Like, I love what Alicia does because it's different. You know what I'm saying? She's pouring wax into like those wooden bowls, which is like something unique that you don't really see that often. Well, I had found this other company that they actually make their molds, from cement, and then they pour the wax in the candle molds. And I'm like, that's so fucking cool. Like, if I ever made candles, I would do it like that, you know? So I ordered, little molds that you can do that. So maybe I'll make some candles. I don't know. But I'm like, like if I were to do something like that, I would do it like how Alicia's doing it. Like I feel like, yeah, the candle itself is nice, but it's just wax. I like that it's in like a nice decorative bowl or something like that. Something different. Something different. In fact, this video popped up in my feed last night, and I was like, somebody must have watched this video because they put it was like how I made, I don't know, $300,000 in a year selling candles, right? And this woman basically just started a candle business. They really don't get too much into like her actual candles, which was weird. But I realized that I was like, haha, some of the things that I see other people trying, I'm like, oh, they must have watched this video because it's interesting. I'll definitely post it in my thing when I'm done. I would show you now, but my computer. Hold on, I'll restart my computer. Rachel answered your wreath question in Alicia's Discord. Oh, I didn't even see it, Beefergs. I made my wreath. I'll show you guys. Hold on. I made this. I mean, nowhere near Rachel's level of talent, but I really just took. I bought this part at Walmart, right? This wood part, and then I glued the eggs to it. Pretty simple, right? And I went to Michael's and I got these little, I don't know, lavender, I guess it looks like, and then a couple of other things, and then I wrapped some burlap around it, and then I just glued Easter eggs. It was because me and Jesse did a project, and I just had all leftover pieces. So, I mean, this literally took me like, I don't know, 15 minutes to do. So, and then hold on, I'm a mess right now. Here are some of the coasters I made. This one I just was experimenting with some paint last night. So it's just cement, and then I just painted some gold on it just to see. And then I did this. These were the first 2 I did, so I didn't really know what I was doing. So this one has some gold leaf in it, but I don't know. Didn't come out that great. I guess I didn't tap the bubbles out good enough, so there's a lot of like holes in it. And then this one I used like a coppery gold leaf in it, but it also got a little messed up. So, you know, live and learn. Gotta learn. But pretty cool. Yeah, wreaths are expensive. And then hold on, I'll show you guys the. I didn't decorate. We have to move. Oh boy, that sucks. Good to have outside. I mean, I just wanted, you know, the first couple obviously didn't come out that good because it was the first ones. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, but the cement I used also sets really quick. I was trying to make this like, I don't know, other thing, and I messed it up. The cement like set on me, and like the freaking it's a pain in the ass. Your Christmas DIY. Holy shit! Do you hear how loud my thing just closed? I'll bring the pot outside. I'll show you guys. It's really cute. I don't know why I'm like sitting here. Like I'll put a picture. I can just show you right now. I'm just a mess right now. Hold on. Let me see if I can balance my phone. I'm like, I don't know, big time into plants right now. So here's a little flower pot that I made. So all I did was I took like, all right, I'll show you guys the basic concept here. I took a cup, obviously a bigger one. I had to break it though to get it off. So you take a cup like this, you fill it with the cement, and then you take another cup, right? Once you fill it up a little bit and you just kind of squish it in there, it has to be smaller. These cups are the same size. And then it just, you know, kind of just comes out of the little pot. And then I squirted some paint in there, some black acrylic paint while I was, you know, doing it to kind of give it that like marbled look. And then I put the little gold flakes on the side of the mold before I poured the cement in. And then that's it. Pretty simple, but pretty cool. Like, how many people could say, hey, I made this little cute little pot? It's really heavy. And then I had to drill a hole in it after it was done just to give it a little drainage. But I was like, it's pretty cool. It has a little, you know, gold flakes on it up there. This was the first try, so you see it has all like the holes, but I kind of like the holes. I mean, if you want, you have to sit there like banging the mold for like ever to try to get all the little holes out, you know, the air pockets. So it's kind of a pain in the ass. But, you know, oh my God, it's really heavy. This is super heavy. But the cement, the good thing is the cement is really cheap. It's only, you could buy like a 25-pound box of cement for like $15. So I made, you know, I still have tons left over. I made this other thing I'm not even going to show you because it got messed up. I made this thing, which also got messed up. I was going to make like a little kind of candle holder, but I put it in cardboard because I saw some other guys use cardboard. It didn't work out too good, so don't use cardboard because as you can see, the cardboard just wouldn't peel off. So some people color it, you know, different colors or whatever. And then I made that. I made this stupid thing, which I'm not even going to bother showing you. I went and bought a bunch of so these little baskets from the Dollar Tree, and that's actually what I used for one of them. I just didn't have enough cement, and it set while I was like pouring it because I don't know why. I don't know if I just didn't mix it right that day. That's the one thing that's kind of hard is like you have to get the mixing ratio down. I mean, you could get slower setting cement. I just got the faster setting kind. Sorry, there's like a piece of hair going right across my eye. Okay. So I got like the faster setting kind, but you know, I like these because they're cheap and they're like kind of flexible. So you can pour the cement in there and it's easier to pop off. Like the first one I used to make the pot, it was more like rigid, so I had to break it to get it off the cement. This I was able to kind of peel off because it was a little more flexible. You could also use you know, a silicone mold or something like that, or bowls. So I went to Dollar Tree the other day and bought like tons of like baskets because right now is a really good time to go to the Dollar Tree and buy shit like this because they have tons of buckets and baskets and shit for Easter. So if you're like looking to do something like this, right now is a good time just to have them on hand. I'll show you guys actually. They're still in my car, so let's go take a little walk. Walk. I'm a fucking mess. I'm still in my pajamas over here. I saw your TikTok. Yeah, Kimberly. I go in there and the guy's like, do you know that that's fast setting? Like, I can't read. Like, it's just so offensive. That same guy, every time I go in there, he's so nosy. Like, I'm like, dude, I'm not asking for help. Like, do I look like I need help or what? So, all right, this is a piece of furniture that I have from my mom's house that I want to do something with. I'm not really sure, which is why it's still sitting in here, but it's pretty cool. It has like a little cabinet that's on the other side, so I can't show you guys it, but it opens up and then there's a light in there. I don't know. I want to like paint it. I was thinking of like, I don't know, painting it some nice white maybe kind of color. I'm not sure. And then I might like put LED lights in it to make it like a little more modern. But anyway, I went to Dollar Tree and I bought all these different shaped bowls, buckets. Um, I even bought some flower pots because I like the shape of this. So you could use this as a mold. You know, you can just take something like this, right? Pour the cement in it and then put this in it to kind of set it, you know, make the little hole. So you got that. I just gotta mix a lot of cement. And then I bought this. I don't know why. I don't think I could use this for the cement. I think I'm gonna paint it though and make it look like cooler. So they had a lot. Like right now is a good time to go there though. Really, I just dropped this all over. But you know what I'm saying? It's a good time to go right now because they have all their little cheap flower pots. And if you use it as a mold, you're not going to feel bad if you have to break it. That's why I went there, because I was like, you know, you could buy cheap like dishes or plastic bowls from Walmart, but they're a little more expensive. Like these were so cheap. I don't care if they break, you know, a little Easter basket, whatever. I'm not going to be upset if I break this, you know, so just different shapes and stuff for me to experiment with. So thank you very much, Nikki, for, you know, sending me that video, because otherwise I never would have even fucking thought to do that. I could bling that. Oh, you're funny. You could paint a metal can and stencil your initial or last name on it. Yeah, but it has a flowers thing. I might like paint. I don't mind that it says a flower thing. I might just like make it look like a little more washed, I guess. Oh, one thing I do want to make is, I saw this actually last night. You could make a cement bowl, right? And then you put like a chicken wire kind of thing in it, and then rocks over the chicken wire. And then you could take those little canisters, you know, the ones like when you um like those sterno canisters. You could put one of those in the center and it could be like a little gas fire pit thing. Not gas, but you know what I'm saying. I want to try doing that. I would patina the metal to age it up. Yeah, I might do something like that, Sarah. Paint it. I don't know if I'd do a real patina because I don't know what kind of metal it is, but yes, thank you, girl, because I was like, oh, that's so cool. That video was so cool. I'm like, I'm definitely going to try this. That guy made a bunch of cool shit on there. So I've been like so busy. I find gouache. Am I saying that right? Gouache paint on ceramic and metal, but you got to prime it. Really? I definitely got to check that out. I just saw that paint in Michael's yesterday, and I'm like, what the hell is this? I never even heard of it. Gouache? I don't know if I'm saying that right. But yeah, so I'll try it. We'll see. We'll see if anything cool happens from it. So I've been a busy little beaver lately. Julie's Design does a lot of painting and stenciling. I just found a channel. This girl, she goes to like thrift stores and shit, and she like flips furniture. She like refinishes it, makes it look like more modern, you know, or she'll try to like go on like sites like Restoration Hardware or Anthropology, and she'll try to like, you know, make like dupes, I guess, of the ooh, excuse me, furniture. And I'm like, I want to do that, you know? So I've been, so I'm saying, man, these fucking people on here, some of them need to get fucking hobbies. Like, find something to do instead of fucking sitting here all day doing this shit. Like, that, I spend my whole weekend doing this shit. Prime everything. Yeah, you have to prime. I guess so, right? I want big bowls and put all over my yard. What do you mean? So I definitely want to try, something with my mom's little piece of furniture there. Like beef eggs, you did that cool little desk, you know, that little retro desk. The only problem is I have absolutely nowhere to put this thing. My house is like maxed out on space. Like, I have legit no fucking space for anything anymore. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. She's from NOLA and sounds like Alicia. Get out of here. It's like gouache. It's just opaque watercolor. Oh, all right. I know, crazy Gemini. I can't either. Oh, cement bowls. I gotcha. I found I actually found a tutorial about that. Julie Designs and Signs. Send that to me, Beefers, because I can't click on it in here. I'm in StreamYards. Yes, I do use chalk paint. I have used it. My whole bathroom is. I redid my bathroom counter and my mirror in my bathroom with chalk paint. I'd show you, but my bathroom is like a fucking mess right now. My makeup's like all over the counter. But yeah, I've used chalk paint. I've used Annie Sloan chalk paint. Now there's like this new brand that everybody's using. I forget what it's called, and I might have to try that one because um Annie Sloan. I mean, you could buy it online. Thank God I have a swatch book so I could like see what the colors look like. Because like I'm one of those people when I'm buying something like that, I need to see it in person because online the colors are not going to be like right when you look at it online. So I'm like, oh, I need to see it on in person. Well, there was this little place over here that used to sell the Annie Sloan paint because they only sell it at certain places. You have to go through like this big training process to learn how to use the paint and all this other shit. So they closed down, I guess, during COVID. So now, like, the nearest place that sells it is pretty far away from me. But I mean, I have a swatch book, so I could always order it off of Amazon. But there's this other brand that is kind of the same concept. They only sell it, small, like little stores. But the store that sells it is actually pretty close to me, so I might try that brand out. I forgot the name of it, but I don't know. I've tried the ones in like Home Depot and uh what do you call it? Like Michael's, and they're just not as good as the Annie Sloan. The Annie Sloan's extremely expensive, but it's to me like well worth it. Like you finish it off with that wax and it's like so weird. Over time the wax like hardens. I'm gonna refinish my kitchen table. I made the mistake of buying a fucking wood kitchen table. Biggest mistake I ever made with my family. No, like just no. It's just like bad idea. The paint's like all chipped off. It's just horrible. So I'm gonna try refinishing that too. I make my own chalk paint. 3 parts paint to 1 part plaster Paris. Really? Hmm. Waverly chalk paint. How's that one? I never tried that one. I used Annie Sloan on my table. I don't know. I love the Annie Sloan paint. I think it's great. I mean, I used it in my bathroom, which I feel like if you want to test a paint, put it in your bathroom because it's going to face all different conditions in there. It's going to get wet and all that. And it's held up. I mean, I did it, back in 2017, and it's held up pretty nicely, I have to say, so far. I was so nervous because, like, I was doing my bathroom counter. And I was like, if I mess this up, like, it's not going to be good. That was the first thing I did. And I mean, I'm pretty happy with the results. It could be a little better, but whatever. Yeah, I know, dolls. That's what if we redo it, we're gonna put glass on top of it. We're gonna go get a piece of glass cut. I should just have never gotten wood. Like I should have known better with my house and my family. Like Jesse's always like painting on the table. There's like paint everywhere. It's like a fucking mess. It's disgusting. Gets wet. You have to be like one of those like anal people. You know what I'm saying? That like you don't leave anything on your table. And we're just like not that family. Like, I've messed it up with my nail shit. So it's a fucking mess, this table. It was a nice table, but we fucked it up. I actually wanted to see if I could get a piece of granite cut to put on the top of it. It's a pretty big table, so I don't know. Granite might cost me like at that point. I might as well probably get a new table. I mean, it's a beautiful table. It's just freaking got beat up over the last couple of years. I see a lot of YouTubers using Waverly chalk paint. Okay. What was the other one? I just looked it up yesterday and I can't remember the name. Like every single person I see is using this paint now. It must be like the new fucking thing. I want to go take a class. They have a class. It's like $75. Use epoxy resin on it. Yeah, that's true. Make sure you clear coat all your wood. Yeah, totally. Oh boy, what's going on here? They're like voting things on my son's hockey team. I'm missing out on it. Oh well. Anyway, all right, I gotta get moving here with the rest of my day, guys. So I'm gonna end this. But I'll definitely keep you guys, informed about whatever I'm doing here. Maybe we'll do some DIY stuff. It's very durable and holds up well. Well, way cheaper. What kind of paint do you use though? Did I miss that? What kind you said like house paint or acrylic paint? What kind of paint do you mix? Yeah, the chalk paint's expensive. Definitely is. All right, guys. I just want to see Sarah's answer. I saw a video where a lady brought a table from she sanded it down, she varnished it with bleach. Huh. That's pretty cool. Oh, regular acrylic paint. Really? Interesting. Huh. All right. I gotta check that out. That's cool. All right, guys. I will see you guys somewhere in the YouTube universe. I probably won't be live for a while because I got my son's gonna be off from school next week, so you know how that goes. So I will be around though, and I'll see you guys soon. And have a good Easter. I hope everybody who celebrates Easter has a good Easter. And if you celebrate Passover, I think that passed or is coming up. Happy Passover. And I'll see you guys soon. All right, I'm out.